trivia thing on the phone?
Hey.
HQ?
Well,
I got nothing.
It's coming through mine.
no, one check.
That worked. Have her.
Headphones?
Yeah, mine's working.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
This isn't good. I got nothing on her. You want to come in here real quick?
I can hear.
Can you hear her?
Oh, really quiet.
Commercial.
He said he can hear her very quiet. Can't really hear her.
No, not at all. One ear goes out, but I can't hear her.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it should work. But you should hear her.
I get the commercials coming through. But
No, you don't hear her.
no, I don't hear her.
Just them.
I can hear the one ear go dead, just like him, but we hear nothing from you. You might have to call Mike or someone. See if you can go over the speaker.
And make some money. The Tender Gun Show has the most guns priced to sell this weekend at the Denver Mart, 58th Avenue and I-25, and the following weekend in Pueblo. Visit TenderGunShow.com.
That's going to be tough. I can't talk.
Maybe it's her mic.
What's that?
Could it be her mic?
I don't know what it is.
Does not come through.
I wonder if she can even talk on air.
I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm putting in a trouble ticket, so.
Yeah, you come through like normal. When it's like it overtakes the one ear like it's supposed to, but then there's nothing.
And special financing. Hurry, visit lumberliquidators.com.
Contest issue. The contest. George went out that night.
No, Kramer.
That's right.
You lost me on that one.
It's a Seinfeld episode. They all bet how long they could go without jerking the working.
Even Elaine.
Yeah, even the girl. And I think who won? Well, who really won?
I don't remember that one.
Don't you remember? We found out the last show that Jerry.
George cheated.
And why did he cheat?
Why did George cheat?
What was the reason?
Because he had to cheat. I don't know. Why did he cheat?
No, hold on. There was something that
Because
he
he's
saw something.
No,
Well, I know Elaine because JFK Jr.
Right.
That's right, JFK.
But George
Jr.
says he cheated because he's a cheater.
No, because he's a cheater.
Oh, I remember.
Kramer was out within the first. Oh, there were people across the
The
way.
lady, the naked lady.
That's right. Yeah. Away from Jerry's.
Yeah.
The absolute best one was that Elaine, though. Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. What do we do here? Well, it's very easy. We solve problems, we answer questions, we take complaints. You know what I feel like doing today, though, is going after the bad guys. You've been ripped off by a contractor, you've been ripped off by anybody. I don't care if it's your neighbor. I want you to call up, and we're going to do everything in the world we can to get your money back, to set this stuff right. Suzanne, I want to see if that mic works. Go ahead and talk real quick. Nope, you are dead to the world, girl. All right, we have a trouble ticket in on that. That'll be coming up, 303-Martino. That is the phone number. Hey, Deputy Dan, we had a guy call up yesterday. He emailed. He was looking for a job. Can you hand me his information, and I'm gonna see if anybody out there is hiring in the IT field that maybe this guy could help. We can do it later, but I just want to do it.
Yep, I'll run down and get her.
Okay, perfect. Or have Daphne bring it up. She's listening. Let's just text her, tell her where it is. And then there was some other stuff I wanted to catch up. Deputy Clint, real quick, anything new on Gil? Where is Gil? Is he sleeping somewhere? Did he get kicked out of that house? Is he still in the basement? Does he still have the phone we got him? What is going on with him?
Last talked to him yesterday, and I haven't heard anything from him today, and I
Checked in with him for a status. Haven't heard from him.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens there. That thing kind of fell apart. I had someone email me saying I was given an update and didn't finish yesterday. Gil, we helped out last week. He called us up. He had no place to live. He was out on the streets. He got kicked out of the Marriott. Yeah, he was staying at the Marriott at $129 a night. The manager knew him from his past, so she figured, you know, he would just pay. Generally, you give them the credit card, they run a little bit, and then you pay when you leave. Well, 11, 12 days went by. Gil couldn't pay for it. He got evicted from there. We got involved. We got him a room for the night, and then we found him an apartment, or not an apartment, really a basement in an apartment, through one of our listeners, Tom, which was very gracious of Tom to do. But then what happened is Tom's landlord got wind of it somehow, how, I have no idea, probably listening to the show, and said, wait a minute, I didn't allow this guy to come and stay in that basement. So apparently they're going to meet him and make a decision in a couple days, Clint. Is that correct?
They're supposed to be back in town Thursday.
Have you talked to them at all? Have you texted the landlord?
I texted him yesterday, and I made an explanation, and I said I'd love to talk to him and go over it, and I haven't heard from him either.
Here's the problem. You know, every time we get involved with someone homeless, there's always an issue. We were going to give a car to a lady. That couldn't have went worse. Brian with Compass Insurance is with me. Brian, listen to this. You're in the insurance business. Here's someone that's been homeless for 15 years. She says, if I had a car, I've got a job lined up at UPS. We're like, cool. You know what? We happen to have a car that Sheraton Auto Tech, they did brakes on, they did everything. Sheraton Auto Tech made it a nice, drivable old car, but reliable. We were going to give her the car. All she had to do was get the car. Then we find out, oh, she doesn't have a driver's license. Oh, she never had a driver's license, meaning it wasn't revoked or expired. She never passed a driving test. So now she's got to go down and take a test. How do you register a vehicle without insurance? You don't.
Right, exactly.
Not in the state of Colorado.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, the reality of giving a homeless person a car kicked in.
Right.
And honestly, I bark about it down in the office. I can't believe we did it. In fact, till this day, I still hear Daphne talking to him occasionally, to her, because now it's something different. She had it signed. She had it all set up to go get her license. It fell through because she was sick. Oh, I couldn't get down there today. Anything that we set up for her doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Why? Because she's been homeless 15, 20 years. That's what she wants to do. And now people out there are going to say, oh, of course that's not what she wants to do. I swear to God, I have dealt with so many homeless in the last 3 years on this show, some of them plain want to be homeless. It's the way of life they have.
Or don't know anything else besides it.
Well, that's it, but that's just it.
Right.
Then you try to, like Gil, here's what I'm afraid of. We try to set them up in this place, and it almost seems like they implode on themselves, like they can't do it. And we're not set up for this. We're set up to give them some donations, buy them a meal, get them a warm night. We can do stuff like that, but every time I try to change someone's life in this factor, they either can't keep a job. One lady, Shauna, and I hope she's listening because she okey-doked me really good. I got her a beautiful place in Montbello in the basement. Next thing you know, and I mean a full basement apartment. I mean a nice place. She's got men running down there, and what I mean by that is she's running a brothel out of these people's home. Deputy Dan, it's insane. Seriously, every time we go through here.
Not just a part-time job.
So there's the update on Gil. We're still trying very hard to help this guy out. Here's what I wanted to do for Gil. He said he was working to get what? His insurance license. In fact, Brian, since you're in studio, in the state of Colorado, in order to sell insurance, you have to pass a test.
That's right. Yep.
How hard is this test for real?
Well, there's 4 parts to it, and I would say the majority of people that I have hired, or it takes them a couple tries to get all the 4 parts.
Okay, so
passed.
it's not the bar, but it's not
that difficult. You have to go through a class.
Okay.
You know, because you have to have a certain number of hours that have been monitored. So you take a class. It's usually a weekend class, though, and then the test. You know, however many times it takes you to take it and actually pass all 4 parts.
See, I sent an email to Gil, and I said, hey, man, what do you, this is yesterday or the day before, what do you need to finish up and take this test? And he's never replied to me, Clint. That's where I start going, okay, so we ran over there, we got his books because the hotel locked him out, or we tried to get his books. I don't even know if we got them or not, but we tried to get his books, and I said, do you need other books? And I sent him an email, what do you need to get this test passed? And I started thinking, we'll give him the car, because the other lady can't get the car, and this guy, we can find him a job. But Here I am again. I'm like, okay, now he doesn't answer emails. Now he's starting to self-implode. And who in their right mind, and I keep saying this, and the fact is they're not in their right mind. I'm in a mood today. Am I in a mood?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's right, I'm in a mood. Let's get to some calls. Rhonda, what's going on with you? Rhonda, you're up.
Oh, okay. Are you ready for this dilemma?
Yes, Rhonda, I am ready for your dilemma.
Okay, well, I had the pleasure of buying a vehicle back in 2013, okay?
Okay.
A beautiful, beautiful truck. It was lifted, just gorgeous, okay? Unfortunately, our winter weathers put a damper on that truck as my husband drove up and over a vehicle that lost control in front of him.
Okay, so okay, keep going.
So we had it fixed to the tune of a little over $18,000 worth in repairs.
Whoa.
Okay.
Most of it body work, or was there any mechanical?
Actually,
Everything.
Everything underneath. Gerber Collision fixed everything.
Got
okay?
it.
And
when did you get the vehicle back from Gerber?
We got it back in February. The accident was in December.
Okay, so now what? Let's get to it.
Okay, so I have replaced gears in my truck now 5 times.
But you said this is big and lifted, so it's not the original equipment, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I decided that we had the dealership replace the gears twice, and since then,
when you say replace the gears, you're not talking the clutch, right? You're talking the actual gears in the transmission?
Correct. The gears in the rear axle. The gears in the rear axle.
The differential.
Correct. Yes. And so on a whim, I tried a new company called Christian Brothers, who is popping up everywhere. Okay.
Yeah, they're from actually, I'm trying to think of where, they just came, well, they didn't just come here, but I want to say they're out of Texas. But yeah, they opened a lot of shops out here recently, and Christian Brothers truly means, they're Christian. That's it. I thought it was their last name, but it's not. Go ahead.
Yes, and I truly believe in supporting a faith-based company, so I was like, this is a win-win for me.
Okay, so the dealership messed it up twice. You bring it to Christian Brothers. Now what?
Okay, well, Christian Brothers, I pay for them to inspect it. I presented everything that's already been replaced, fixed, all the accidents, everything. I'm like, somebody is missing something.
Okay, I understand. You explained the situation to them. Now what?
Okay, now they sold me on upgrading the gears.
Okay, so that makes sense. Go ahead.
Yes. So I paid $6,700 to them.
Okay.
And it lasted 900 miles.
Well, what's their warranty?
Well, it is 2-year or 24,000.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let's do this. I got to take a hard break. I'm going to come back and we're going to discuss it. Meantime, Suzanne, can you do me a favor and get Machowski up? And did we get that problem in there handled, or they're working on it? Sweet. All right, 303-713-8255. Frank Duran, the real estate man. I can't talk about this guy anymore. If you want to buy a new house and you want to save money and you want to learn how to negotiate, you're going to let Frank do it and you're going to save money buying that house. If you're selling your house and you want more than what your neighbor can get for the same house, you're going to call Frank Duran. He is the best realtor out there. I've personally used him numerous times. Tom has personally used him numerous times. If you're buying or selling a house in the Denver metro area, Frank Duran, the real estate man. 303-920-1622, 303-920-1622.
A couple of trouble spots in nature causing delays in the high country.
Dominic is changing out the processor. Right now. It's dead right now. It's dead. So, anyway, the question from Ken for Compass is, my truck was just stolen, I need insurance advice.
Okay.
Or needs insurance.
And then,
So you didn't say question.
I need to get insurance. Just an insurance question.
yeah, that's what I do, and unless I think it's a wonky insurance question.
Wait about 2 weeks to report stolen after.
Mark Machowski, get him.
I'm going to get him going, and then one held a long time yesterday, then had to go to work.
Okay.
It's BJ's
Thanks,
Auto
Dad.
Shop. I want to say we've heard BJ's something or another, but I don't know if it's an auto shop or a body shop.
So, Mark, will you ask Nate that when, and Dan, you too, and you,
I'll ask him too.
when you sign somebody up to be on the referral list, make sure that the address that they put in there and it's the phone number. This is the information I go off of what they want to be on the referral list.
Okay.
Yeah, so like,
What are you bitching about?
Nate's Blue River thing has a different address than their website, and so cross-referencing, making sure that it's their website.
Right.
They fill out that information, though. We don't.
I know, but we need
We
to...
have no way to change it. Understand, it's an actual contract. Whatever they fill in, we cannot change it.
That's why I'm saying, talk to them and say, we need this to be your company address, or put a note on the side.
You're missing it. Whatever they put on the contract is what's going to go on there.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that address is totally different than what's on their website. So you guys need to really talk to these people and make sure they've got their shit together.
So you want Nate to counsel them to make sure that they're...
Yeah, that's too much.
Well, no,
seriously, that's too much for a sales guy. I'm telling him to get contracts finished up.
Okay.
I want it signed.
Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to call and they're going to complain that it's not the right address.
Yeah, but then when you call up for them to look at it, they say, hey, that's not the address, and you just change it. That's very easy. Wow. Here, where's the tissue? Here. Here.
Brain damage! Brain damage! It's so much easier if you guys would just take that extra step. Plus, the phone number doesn't match.
I'll tell him.
Yeah, thank you. I'll tell him too. But I thought maybe the boss guy would, but no.
No, I'm not telling anybody.
No. You are in a mood, by the way, and I am listening. You don't have to text me.
I'll be that guy. I don't mind.
Siglian is not in yet?
Not yet.
He's
I would have brought him up. No, I just left him downstairs just to be mean.
You're in a mood.
I'm pulling a Mark.
I want to know what kind of truck.
That's some serious damage to this thing. 17,000, then another 6,500.
Yeah, but I understand we don't know. She said it's lifted. I'm assuming this thing is lifted.
Like really.
But what I'm curious about is she said it's got a 2-year warranty.
Yeah.
Is she just upset they got to do it again?
Right.
She's
Or
sick of
they
it
say
because
they're
now
not
we're
covering
4 times in. He said the rear diff, though, right?
Yeah.
So the gear ratio, if it's lifted, you'd want it lower gear ratio, right?
Yeah, correct. Because the big tires. Tall tires.
Well, apparently, yeah, we got to ask her. These like 35, 12.
How big is it?
I can't believe they would still warranty with a lifted truck. Usually that takes out all warranties.
Yeah, a lot of times the extra traction of the big tires pulling on it.
That takes a lot. That takes a lot.
The reason I was wondering, if it's a half-ton Chevy, they only got that little 10-bolt to them, and they're not tough enough for that.
I mean, that's hard.
It's a little
suspension.
My wife's got a lifted Hummer with big tires.
That's the worst thing you can do to the vehicle.
Why?
Lift it.
That's not what the guy who owns Bigfoot said, huh? He's making money. What about Grave Digger? You seen that one? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to.
You know, you're right if they're not done right.
I saw those things
They
at the
have
Pepsi
drive
Center years
and
ago.
all sorts of stuff.
It
I've
was
gone.
so
I've taken
loud.
my son. Oh yeah, I took my son.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
It was really badass,
Yeah.
but
No,
I
it
couldn't
was
get over
fun.
how loud.
Oh, that's
Super
I don't know
loud.
what they can do.
Yeah.
But they just go real slow.
And when they jump,
over
it's like.
No, there's sometimes they hit it
You're
pretty
right.
hard. I mean, it's,
Oh, we saw one go over. They had to pull it up. Did you see the motorcycles too?
Yes.
We saw a guy right before the monster trucks came out. He did a backflip, and he landed on his back. He was down for like 20 minutes.
You're
and popped.
kidding. You
He
saw
got
it
up.
actually.
I thought he was
crack,
cooked, man. All right, 303-713-8255. 303 Martino. All right, we've got an expert on, but I want to go back real quick to Rhonda. Rhonda, so you brought it to Christian Brothers, and to catch everybody up, you were in an accident last December. You basically had $18,000 in damages on the vehicle. Since that time, you had to get it repaired multiple times, the rear differential, because the gears kept going out, correct?
Correct.
And it's a lifted truck. When we say a lifted truck, what are we talking? Is it Bigfoot or what?
No. I can comfortably climb in, and I'm 5'4".
Okay, but what size tires? Are they like 35s on there? How big is this thing?
I believe it is 35.
Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to lock you in. And I realize you still have more to the story, but I got to ask Mark Machowski something with Budget A1 Transmission. Mark, if you lift your vehicle on the rear diff, do you have to change out those gears if you're running big tires like 33s or 35s, or no, you don't have to?
Well, the taller the tire, Mark, the less of a ratio, so the slower it's going to go off a takeoff. So with a taller tire, let's say, for instance, you got 308 gears and you go with a taller tire, probably would be a good idea to go with 340 series or a 350 series, even up to a 370 or a 411 series.
So Rhonda, hold on, Mark. So Rhonda, you brought it to Christian Brothers. They rebuilt it to the tune of $6,500, $6,700. They went with a smaller gear. Do you know what gear they put in there?
No, actually, I upgraded to the 410.
Okay, so you went to the 410, but then 800 miles later, it breaks, right?
Correct.
Now, wait a second, are they willing to warranty it?
Correct.
Okay, but your main question is, why is it broken 3 times?
Well, no. It gets better because Christian Brothers fixed it 3 times.
They fixed it? So the dealership has fixed it twice, Christian Brothers 3 times?
But Christian Brothers now is stating that, well, first they said it was because they made a mistake.
Yeah.
The second, they said, well, who's driving this truck? Now, there is one thing I forgot to tell you. It is supercharged.
Okay, so who's driving it, and then what are they saying now?
Okay. Now they're saying that they took it over to Western Drivetrain, and Western Drivetrain is saying that the axle housing is twisted inside. Okay, now here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
When I took it to them, I presented my vehicle to them, and I said...
Yeah, you already told me, and you explained to them it's already happened twice at the dealer, right?
Right.
So hold on. Okay, I got a picture of this. I got to ask Mark something. First of all, Mark, if the drive shaft's bent or out around, that can cause this issue, right?
Well, absolutely, but she's saying that the differential housing has twisted.
Ooh.
So what I would like to know is what is failing inside the differential?
They keep saying that the gears keep chipping away. It's like they're not lined up.
So it's like 2 spider gears or 2 sprockets, if you will.
Correct.
So, Mark, does that make sense?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, of course, you have a ring and pinion in a carrier. The ring gear is bolted to the carrier, and the pinion gear goes into the differential where the drive shaft.
How many times, Ron, has this been rebuilt? 5 at this point?
5.
Okay.
Yeah, what is really critical in this, Mark, is the backlash. How the backlash is set in the differential. Preferably, you're going to want between 1 to 2,000.
Okay, Mark, the technical stuff isn't... I understand you can fix anything when it comes to transmissions. Here's what I'm trying to figure out, though. If Rhonda brought this vehicle to you, and I, of course, already know this answer, but I'm going to force it out of you here. If Rhonda brought this to you and said, hey, listen, I've had it to this dealership twice. They've had to replace the gears 2 different times. A small amount of time goes through. The gears chip away. We got to do it again. So she explains everything that has happened to this vehicle to them. They fix it the first time. 800 miles later, once again, the same problem. The gears are stripping. They need to do it. They say, oh, okay, well, it must have been something we did. They'll do it. The second time, she brings it back. They got to do it again. Now, the third time, they're saying, hey, here's the real problem. We brought it to a real transmission shop, and the problem is this, that the housing is bent, or whatever she's trying to say, twisted. Don't you think they should have caught that the damn first time, along with the dealer and everybody else?
Absolutely.
So, Rhonda, they're just plain not going to do it now, is what they're saying?
Correct.
You know what, Christian Brothers, welcome to Denver. Because I'll tell you what, if everything she is saying is correct, you guys are doing the wrong thing here. In fact, I was just perusing think that's a word, around their website, and you know what? Everything is our guiding idea. Love your neighbor, love yourself. What our customers say about us. Love your neighbors, Matthew 22:39. You're not even loving your customer, Christian brothers. So hang tight. I'm going to put her on hold. I want to go back to Mark real quick. Mark, there is no way that they should not be responsible for this if she's telling the truth. Do you agree with that?
I would agree to that. And again, though, that angle, that angle of deflection, Mark, from the drive shaft to the differential is critical.
Yeah.
If that angle is too severe, that has to be adjusted prior or after the differential.
Regardless of what is causing these gears to go out, the fact that they couldn't catch it in 3 times, right, I do believe is their issue.
I agree.
Even if it was a pre-existing problem that was causing the gears to go out, when she explains to them it's been to the dealer 2 other times, and then they replace it twice under warranty, wouldn't that open their eyes up and say there must be a different problem?
Absolutely. But here's the thing, Mark. When it comes to differentials and transmissions and transfer cases, it takes a specialty shop to do something.
I know, and here's what's happening. Christian Brothers decided to be a transmission shop all of a sudden. Now they're putting the screws to her. Let's get them on. They must have a customer service rep that can come on. I want to verify this information because you know what? How many problems have we had with them? How many? 0. Not one, and they've been around. I remember the one in Castle Rock opened up, I'd say, man, we might be going on 3 years. 4 years maybe. I have not had one problem on them. But this one's huge. And why they're not taking care of this, I can't even understand. Mark, I appreciate you coming on. By the way, are you still running that 89 plus parts, or it's free?
Absolutely. It's such a great program.
Clint,
taking care of so many customers. It's just working great.
It's amazing. You bring your car down there. Let's say your alternator goes out or your starter, or, you know, your brakes are squeaking. You go down there. They look at it. And let's say it's your brake pads. They say, yep, it's your brake pads. It'll be $89 labor and whatever the pads are. That's all you pay. If it's your starter, your alternator, that's it. 89 plus parts. That's it. Simple as that.
Can't do it yourself.
No, but let's say it's your transmission. Let's say you go down there and you think you just have a leaky pan and you need a gasket. It turns out you got other issues. Then you got a free diagnosis. You don't have to pay them anything. Not 89, nothing. So 89 plus parts or it's free. Mark, I appreciate what you guys do down there. And you can schedule an appointment at Budget A1 at 303-781 9858. 303-781-9858. They do all kinds of stuff, and they're the experts on transmissions. All right, this is really not good. I really want someone to reach out to Christian Brothers, and let's get them on. Now, I got to talk about this. What is the Compass helpline? I got to have that.
It's 303?
Yep.
771?
Help.
Help.
303-771-HELP. That's our Compass hotline for the day. I'm going to discuss that and how much money you can save right after these messages.
She came in late. I don't think he knows that truck went over the top of another car. She said it was an accident.
Well, that's probably what twisted it.
Yeah, I know, but he came in late. He may not be aware of it.
Oh, yeah, but once again, who cares, though?
But
they should know this.
Her insurance will cover that on a supplement.
Well, I don't know. Not after. Okay, wait a minute, Clint. So if I pay, sometimes you drive me nuts. If my insurance company, here's an insurance guy.
Yeah.
If they say I'm going to go ahead and replace your engine because it was fucked up, and I pay so and so to replace the engine, and then something else that was wrong fucks up that engine, those people are responsible. The insurance company might give a supplement just on that case, but they're not going to pay for the gears again and shit, are they?
Yeah.
No, they would have to pay for
the
the
thing's
housing.
twisted. They got to fix that.
They've got to fix it. But here's what I have a question for you. What is it that Christian Brothers has done at this point?
Sure.
They replaced the gears 3
No, but I mean, what have they done wrong? Are they saying they're not we're not doing anything else?
They're saying even though we got a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty, we're not giving it to you.
But if they're willing to redo the gears, if there's an additional cost because of the twisted case,
then someone else should pay that.
Yeah, they should.
That's not what they're saying.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure. I haven't heard.
Actually, you know what? Let's ask her that. That's a hell of a good question.
Well, we don't know. I mean, it's her.
I was an adjuster for a lot of years, and we had supplements that went back. If we just discovered the damage.
Yeah, if you want, I agree with you. The insurance might pay for the twisted case, but they're not going to pay for the gear shifts again.
No.
But
if they buy a
but
whole
I'm
house,
thinking if Christian Brothers says, hey, you fix this thing, we'll do it again, then they're doing what they're supposed to do.
if they buy a whole housing, they could find one with 411 gears in it most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple things here, though.
Depends
Wait a
on what
minute.
it is, almost a Chevy or what.
So, if they don't catch it, and they do it 3 times,
Yeah.
and that truck is out of commission for whatever that equals, I mean, that's got to be a long period of time. I mean, there's something there, too.
Just the time out of service, you're
well,
saying?
No, just the fact they couldn't find the problem on the 3rd time, and they finally shipped it somewhere else, tells me they shouldn't be doing this kind of
No,
work.
I don't disagree with you there, but I don't think there's a compensation piece there that they
There
didn't
might be
figure
a
it
little
out.
bit.
It's a rare.
Well, let's see what they're saying.
Yeah.
If they're saying, hey, we'll do the gears again, but you got to pay X for this.
Right. That seems fair to me at that point.
What was the company
How do we
that
know
rebuilt
at
the
this
truck?
How do we know at this point, though, and I think Mark was alluding to that, if they do the gears in there and hook the drive shaft back up, and it's not perfect, it can cause it to do that.
Right.
They shouldn't be doing it. You're probably right there. They just shouldn't be doing the things that they're not specializing in.
But who did the rebuilding after you went over
I don't
the
know.
car?
If the second
That's
time
the
dealership,
the second time that
That's
failed,
the people responsible for it.
there's housing problems other than that. They can have axles that are welded in shift and stuff like. There's housing problems that can happen on those.
Get Mark back up one more time.
I would have gone out and got a housing anyway, because they just don't go bad. I mean,
Well, I'd say if the frame had been bent.
I'm surprised the dealership couldn't figure it out.
Yes, absolutely. They should look at that.
Once again, maybe it wasn't fucked up. Maybe they actually replaced the drive shaft in that 82,000. They didn't hook it back up right, and it caused the damage.
Yeah.
We don't know what the insurance company's going to say. Looking at a rear differential, how do you know what caused it?
Why didn't you take it back to the dealership after it went out?
What would you do if you were the insurance company and you say, now wait a minute, 5 people replaced the gears in here? Well, I guess you could argue prior to the accident it never happened.
Right.
But how do you know it wasn't from the installation?
Right.
God, I don't know how you know that.
That would be a
I think
forensics.
Either the housing's been or it's not. And
with
if it ran over
the
something, it's
fifth housing seems like it would be a pretty clear-cut thing that that's part of the accident.
yeah, they don't.
Right, I agree. That's a.
And the
I think
direction
the
will be.
dealership screwed up by not.
I'm going to see if I can trip her up. I'm going to see. I'm going to straight. Are they saying they'll do nothing?
Right.
Because that's the impression
'Cause we
I
haven't
got.
heard yet.
But I didn't answer her. I didn't hear her.
Yeah.
I forget that people don't tell you shit like that.
Right. That's an important
Well, I know
part.
she fed you little spoon pieces and didn't even get to the end of what the problem
What did
was.
she keep saying that was funny?
Correct.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
that's her line.
Okay. Do you want me to call Christian Brothers and do what at this point, or do we want to talk to her?
As soon as I'm done talking to her, if they refuse to do anything, we've
Then
got an issue.
that's a problem.
Jump on her like stink on
I'm gonna have Mark back up, and we're gonna ask about that.
Okay. Yeah, make sure Mark knows, though, because I think he missed that truck was in an accident. He came in late.
I don't mind bringing that up, but once again, I don't know what the relevancy is. But I'll definitely tell him.
Yeah.
He might have relevancy
Because
for it.
if the housing's bent.
But he started talking about that drive shaft and the installation of it.
Did she say the frame was bent?
We still don't know what kind of truck it is. That'd be interesting to know, because probably not a Ford, because they have really tough.
All right, I'm going to get to the bottom of this one. I'm going to go back to Rhonda, and I'm going to ask her some point-direct questions. Hey, Rhonda, is Christian Brothers refusing to do anything?
That they will fix it if I pay for the gears again and axle housing.
Okay, but they want you to pay for the gears. In other words, they're going to do the labor, but you have to buy the new housing and pay for the gears.
Well, my understanding is that they're saying $3,500 for me to have it fixed.
Well, I don't care about the dollar amount. Here's what I'm trying to say. You paid you paid for the gears. Are they charging you for the gears or just the housing?
They're charging me for the gears because it is my fault that the gears went bad.
Well, that's what they're saying. Now, hold on a second. So, Mark, I wanted to bring you up one more time for this, so I had Suzanne call you back. So, this has been replaced 5 times. This vehicle was in an accident, had $19,000 roughly in damage to begin with.
Right.
Here's my question for you. How do we know that the first dealership that did most of the work on this rear diff, how do we know whether they missed damage to this twisted rear diff, or if when they put the drive shaft or replace the drive shaft, they didn't install it properly. How would we go back in time 5 times and figure out, is this part of the original damage that the insurance company should cover now, or if one of these shops that have worked on it caused the damage? Can they cause the damage by not installing the drive shaft correctly to that rear diff?
Well, that's possible, but it's very unlikely, Mark. What I'm thinking the problem is that the backlash between the ring and pinion was not set correctly. The backlash was not set correctly. Now, if that differential housing has twisted and the angle of deflection between the drive shaft and the differential is too deflected, that has to be corrected. So if they did all this differential work and we had a severe angle of deflection and that wasn't fixed, that could cause the problem. But most likely that problem would be caused to the pinion itself.
How do you... Here's what I'm saying, though, Mark. You had a dealership do it twice. You had Christian Brothers do it 3 times. How do you know if that was installed improperly and when?
Good question. I think we'd have to measure things out with the gears that are in it right now as best as we can.
Rhonda, is that already stripped back out, or where does it stand now? Did they already tear it apart?
Well, my last words were, put it back together, push it in your parking lot, I'll pick it up.
Oh, man. Mark, what would you do if you were her? Let's cut to it. If you looked at this, would you do me a solid? Can you look at this vehicle if they get it? Where are you located, Rhonda?
I'm in Southeast Centennial or Aurora.
Okay, what I need to know, Mark, is can you look at this thing? See, the problem is we have no idea. For right now, all we know is all the parts are sitting in the bed of her truck. We have no idea. I mean, we just have no idea what we're looking at. But the bottom line is she needs to get it fixed anyhow. I mean, Rhonda, you're going to get it fixed, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I think
I got your back. I got the customer's back.
All right.
Both of you guys are solid. Let's check it. Let's figure out what the heck is
okay,
going
listen, he's going to check it out. We're going to figure out to the best of what happened. I don't like the fact Christian Brothers is telling her, though, if she, once again, Rhonda, I say this because I've never had complaints on them, but if they're telling you you got to buy those gears, that's BS. I don't know why you'd have to buy the gears. They should have caught this problem, and then the reality is, if they installed it wrong to begin with, on the first time they did it, they could have caused this, right, Mark?
I agree.
See, this sucks.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, hold tight. Hold tight. You know, we are very good at automotive. Deputy Dan, we are probably better at automotive than anything else. And I'm going to tell people why, okay? Because we got this spotlight we can shine on their spot. A lot of contractors, which is probably our biggest call, they live at their house. They don't have like a retail facility or an office building we can just go after and camp out at and tell everybody about. They're like fly-by-nights. But a place like Christian Brothers, I would assume, would do the right thing. We don't get complaints on them, but if they're literally trying to charge her for years, Deputy Clint, I want to know. And how do they know they didn't do the housing? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to call them up and say, we're going to bring it over to a real transmission shop. I mean, you might put it a little nicer. Let's start out with honey. So talk to them. Say, if we find out that it's possible that you guys did it because of the way the gears were installed, are you going to cover the cost? What are you going to do? Also ask them, why did it take 3 times? And then, if it did take them 3 times and they couldn't find the problem the first, second, or third time, why in the world would it be her problem? Why is it her problem to pay for the gears?
Mark, there's a paint that actually goes on the gears to mark them after you set that backlash and stuff in there and make sure that it's wearing in the middle of the gear.
Yeah.
A lot of shops don't do it,
well,
but that's the only way of knowing if they're straight. And if
I have no idea what
they
they did.
This.
I'm looking at our services. I want to look right here. Our services. I want to see if they say anything about transmissions. Let me look here. Transmissions, batteries, auto repair estimates, alignment, transmission services, it says. I guess this is a transmission service in a way. Drivetrain and suspension. Go call these guys. And let's find out. Find out their main number. I think they're from Texas. I'm not positive. I hate when we have a new shop in town. And I say new. It's been 3-4 years. We get 0 complaints. That's great. But then all of a sudden to hear something like that, let's just hope it's a store manager or an assistant manager that's gone a little awry or a little outside of the system. Because a shop like this does not go 4 years in Denver Metro doing a bad job, doing stuff like this without us hearing about it. It just doesn't happen. Let's free up Rhonda, free up Mark. Let's make sure we get that truck over there, and we're going to follow this thing through. I'd like her to get it over there in the next couple days. Maybe we can update on Car Friday about it. Wayne, what is going on with this contest? And Sherry, I promise you're next. Wayne, you're up.
Yes.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Basically yesterday I in my mail a notification of a contest from Larry H. Miller, Colorado Chrysler Jeep.
All right, I'm staring at it. 4 days only, Wednesday through Saturday only, 0 payments, big finish, Larry Miller. Okay, where's the contest, though?
Huh? Pardon me?
Oh, Bust the Bank contest, right?
Yeah, Bust the Bank.
All right, cool. So what's your question?
So what ended up happening was I called them yesterday to ask them, you know, basically if you see there's a section there where it says winning combinations, they send you a little plastic combination box. You pull the tab on it, it exposes the numbers. The number it exposed for me was 42387. That's the number in the middle that says it's a winning combination. I called up and said, hey, I just received this notification. I'd like to ask you what this is about.
So this is kind of, hold on, Wayne. This is kind of like a scratch-off, but you just photocopied it. Or you peel it off. Your number I'm looking at it is 42387.
Yeah, it's not even a scratch-off. They give you a physical plastic box with a battery in it that when you pull the tab on it, the number lights up.
What are you matching this 42387 up to, though?
It says winning combinations. If you look on where it says crack the vault, underneath there it says winning combinations. It has 3 numbers, 98922, 42387, 47829.
Yes.
Mine says 42387.
Yes, but where does
I'm a winner.
Where does it say you're a winner on here? That's what I'm asking you.
It says winning combinations. All of the combinations, sorry, you are not a winner. So if you match any of these 3 numbers...
Okay, Wayne, it's probably me, but I'm not saying this right. I see the 42387. I see where it says winning combinations. There's 2 other numbers there that aren't winning combinations, correct?
No. All 3 of those numbers are. Any other numbers aren't.
Where does it say that part? Where does it say...
Right underneath the numbers, all other combinations, sorry, you are not a winner.
Okay.
It says digital combination box is only good activated until Saturday at 9 p.m.
All right, anyhow, it's the worst advertising I've ever seen. But now what?
Exactly. So I basically call in and get a receptionist and say, I've received a notification. It says I've won something. And she says, I don't know why you're getting those notifications. Very rudely, by the way, like automatic rude.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're getting those notifications. You shouldn't be getting them. That contest ended last week.
Okay. Well, when did you get it? How did you get it? Did you get it in the mail?
I got the notification in the mail on the 26th yesterday.
I don't see any dates on here. Let me see here.
So here's what I tell her. I go, well, I just received this. I'm pretty sure you have to honor this anyway. And she hangs up on me. So I pull out a magnifying glass, look at the fine print. Where it says no purchase necessary, there's fine print.
Yeah, by December 15th.
And it says...
Ends December 30th.
12:15 to 12:30. So I go to call her back and I go, look, I've just looked at the fine print and it says 12:15 to 12:30. She doesn't even let me get through that and hangs up on me again.
All right, hold on.
I call back and I ask for a manager. I got a guy named Dustin. He says the same thing. That contest ended last week. I say, Dustin, let me read you the fine print.
Well, okay. Whoa, hang tight. It's all good, Wayne. Chill out for a second, man. I'm going to put you on hold. Deputy Dan, I'm giving this one to you, man. I mean... It says exactly what he said. Here's the part I don't get. He's saying that this is a winning number. What the hell's he matching it up to? It's like if I gave you a scratch ticket and you scratched off 249, well, what the hell's that mean? Where does it say 249 equals $1,000?
I don't know if it's there, but, I won a contest before.
Here, take this. Go call Larry Miller, and let's just follow this down the road. And then the fact that they're saying it's over. First of all, I hate to tell Wayne this. What do you think you won? Let's say they agree because the fine print says it's not up yet. What do you think you won?
The 4 prizes listed are $15,000 in cash, $2,500 in cash, a Walmart gift card, or a $300 shopping card.
Well, okay. What do you think you're going to win out of those?
Oh, I think I basically expect them because.
Where's the gift card? What's the gift card good for? Probably at their dealership. $300 off a new truck.
It's a Walmart gift card, and basically what I'm expecting, because Dustin said, well, look, we'll go ahead and take care of you, bring that on down, we'll give you whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm under the impression that if I go down there, they're just going to hand me the lowest price thing. They're not even going to look to see whatever determines what you've won.
Well, that's what I kept asking you about the number. That's what I kept saying. What does this equal? So it doesn't. It equals whatever they want to give you out of those prizes.
I imagine they have some way of determining when you hand them
give them the cheapest prize. That's probably the way they determine it.
And it probably always is the cheapest, because they're just trying to get me in to get me to trade my Jeep in.
Well, okay, yes, that's true. But if you can go down there just like a timeshare and leave with $300 gift card, do it. Who cares? Hold on. Let's call them and see if this guy, they need to give this guy something. I mean, whatever it is, Dan, it's ridiculous. Those dates right there. For them to say this is not running when the dates say it is running makes absolutely no sense to me. No sense. By the way, we touched on contractors and how many calls we get about them. I'm going to give you a guy's number you won't have a problem with. It's Genesis Total Exteriors. If you need siding for your home, windows, gutters, painting, fences,
decks, or inside you want to remodel your kitchen, your bath, your basement, he does large jobs, small jobs, improvements of all kinds to your house. They do storm damage. These are the real guys. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Give them a call, 303-679-8509. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. All right, I promise I'll bring you back up now. We got to get this hotline out.
Who'd you use for fences?
He's not on our referral list. Where do you live?
Littleton.
Straight Arrow Fence. Littleton.
It's just, it's such a dinky little job. I've got, my neighbors both have the metal fences is what's required.
Handyman Matters.
Handyman Matters?
We got two. Handyman, call Handyman Matters, and then there's another handyman. Just type in handyman.
Okay.
But I take a picture of what you need,
okay,
email it, get a bid over the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got
They're just two little pieces that will connect the neighbor's yard.
Got it.
Yeah.
Is it one of those, what kind of fence is it?
It's like those powder-coated metal, the black picket metal fences. Whatever those things are.
Okay, besides auto shops, what other businesses have to basically have insurance like garage keepers? Give me auto shops, what else? You're not doing medical malpractice and shit. So
no.
What are you doing besides auto shops?
Well,
commercial.
What else do we do?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, man, we do all
that's what
contractors, all sorts of contractors. We do, more specialty type things.
Well, like on contractors, what?
Oh, man, we get calls from anywhere from your guys that build homes, the construction guys, up to, your tradesmen.
So a guy that does just framing.
Yeah, it's more difficult. That's
what are they called though? So instead of garage keepers, what does that policy refer to as?
Well, it's considered to be, it's a package policy, a commercial package policy, because you have a combination of workers' comp, general liability, commercial property coverage, professional liability, that kind of stuff.
And you only use Pinnacle for workmen's, right?
No, we use all sorts of companies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I go Pinnacle. If it's a Colorado-only based company, sometimes if they're going to travel outside of Colorado, you don't want Pinnacle because they won't extend.
You're going to love this. She feeds us information after the actual housing was already replaced. USAA was responsible. She said USAA was wonderful. They paid for everything. They even paid to replace the actual housing. So it's been replaced.
So it was the installation that fucked it up.
It could be. So I'm not going to call Christian Brothers yet until Mark looks at it.
Why wouldn't she tell us that?
I know.
I can't ask every question.
I know. That's why I said you're going to love it.
For the life of me, I can't ask. I would have never have thought. We even talked about the insurance company paying for it.
So when she told us that the reason Christian Brothers is saying that it's breaking is the twisted housing, that's not true.
No, it's not true, and I'm not going to call Christian Brothers at this point until A1 looks at it and I have armed with some honest truth, because I can't depend on what she's telling us.
Well, they're not going to be able to tell. We need to get a comment from Christian Brothers. Go call them.
They could at least tell us, hey, you know what? This is what's going on with it. We'll just get their side of it.
Yeah, that was replaced.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll call them back, but I can't.
The fact they won't pay for the gears is a problem.
Well,
and ask them straight up, Clint. How do you know the first time you installed the gears you didn't foobar it?
Well, it was a used rear housing. How do we know it's not bent too? I don't know. That's why I was saying I want A1 to look at it before we.
That's the problem when she switched shops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's stuck with the original shop.
Yeah. We don't know what's happened.
It is amazing how people leave out, like,
that's not minute though.
Details.
What was her name?
I don't remember.
What was that lady's name?
Rhonda. So you have another problem with the body shop from Sherry, it looks like. Although, auto body shop versus mechanical.
.067, the Bull. I think that used to be KBPI.
Well, and they moved to 107 point something.
Isn't that weird?
The only reason I know that is it was on the light rail when I was driving yesterday.
I see on TV.
Yeah, it said
heavy advertising.
Yeah, they're really pushing.
All right, 303-713-8255. I got to tell you real quick about Compass. You know, we always talk about how much money you can save. I'm going to switch this up a little with Brian. And then, Wayne, I'm going to get right back to you on that contest. I promise. We're reaching out to that dealership right now. And then, at the start of the next hour, I'm going to give you another update on what happened and what Rhonda shared with us on her monster truck or her lifted truck with Deputy Clint. And we're calling Christian Brothers, but you're not going to... When people leave out stuff, it drives me insane. She left out something that's huge. I'll tell you about that next hour. But right now, listen, Compass Insurance, it's a no-brainer if you've had State Farm or Allstate or these other ones for a long period of time. You call these guys up. In fact, you call right now. We got the help center, 303-771-HELP. Simple as that. You call up, they're going to ask for a little information, and most likely, what, Brian? You think 90%, 95% of the time, you get a better rate.
Yeah, it's especially if they've been with one of those carriers you mentioned for a while. Yeah, it's usually, if they've been there for several years, we can usually find something better.
It's not brain surgery, guys. I mean, we do this usually once a month. In fact, in the hundreds of millions of dollars Tom and I have recouped, I got to tell you, a lot is through insurance like this. You know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Last time you were in, we had people save, you know, $1,000 a month. Some people $14,000, $15,000 a year, and they would get a better policy, meaning maybe add an umbrella, higher limits. Plus, you can ask them all their questions. You might not have medical on there. You might have waived some stuff. They'll tell you. They'll tell you if you're covered right. They'll tell you compared to your assets if you're covered right.
Yeah, there's all sorts of endorsements on the home that you're finding that they're skimping out on now. Insurance companies are taking them away at renewal, and customers don't even know things that they will really care about if there's a loss.
Oh, my God. There are so many people we got calls over during that Lakewood hailstorm. Listen, you might not know this, but your insurance might only do actual cash value on your roof. You get a big hailstorm through, your roof's 15 years old, they're going to hand you a check for a couple $100. You're going to be fishing around for 10, 20 grand to get your roof done.
Right, exactly. And people don't realize it because it comes through and it's just kind of part of the policy.
Yeah, you don't look at it. Most people don't, but that's why these guys are there. They're going to tell you exactly what you have, but more than that, they're going to save you money. But I want to put a challenge out there, different than what we usually do with them. But I want all the consumers to call big time. I want you to save money, and then I want you to tell us how much you saved. We always do this. But these guys are amazing for another reason. You ready? If you own an automotive shop, or you're a contractor, or a commercial building, I want you to give them a call. If you're paying garage keepers, and you shops out there know what I'm talking about right now, they will shop around all the people for garage keepers and find you the best deal and save you a real lot of money. How about workman's comp? A lot of people think it's just Pinnacle. I know Farmers does it, and there's other people that do it, but these guys will shop all the people that do workman's comp. If you're an employer, I don't care if it's an automotive shop, if you're a contractor, if you build homes, if you work inside homes, if you're an HVAC guy, anybody out there, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, you should be able to save all these people money.
Yeah, exactly, and those are not going to be a turnaround quite like the personal lines. It takes a little bit of time, but yeah, especially, people are spending a lot of money on insurance. It's a big portion of the budget.
I used to shop my garage keepers for the 5 stores every year and a half, and I do it 6 months before the policy was coming up, and I'll tell you what, I switched all the time. I didn't know you back then, but I used a broker, just like you. He would shop it, he would find the best for me, and I'd switch usually about every 2 years. If you are used to that same insurance, whether you're just a consumer and it's for your house or your car, but I got to tell you, business owners, 303-771-HELP. You might end up calling me next week and saying, my God, I was paying $40,000 a year for this. They got me down to $32,000. That's $8,000 a year. Some of the differences are massive, and they're going to make sure you have the coverage you need. Take it from me, as a business owner, you have to shop insurance. 303-771-HELP. We're going to keep that hotline up till probably 2 or 3 o'clock. 303-771-HELP. But call them up and get those quotes. They'll tell you exactly what they need. There's no downside to it. There's no cost to you. And if you're saving money, they're going to tell you. Then you're going to know you're in the right place already.
Right. Yeah. No, we're definitely always willing to tell you if what you got is a good deal. We'll be the first to tell you that.
All right. Deputy Clint's on, hopefully with Christian Brothers. Deputy Dan, who were you just talking to?
I was talking to Larry H. Miller.
And what did they say about this contest?
So as soon as I asked, I got the guy from the sales, and he said, yep, no, contest is up till the 30th, just like it says in the small print. He said Wayne had talked to a receptionist, she had screwed it up.
Wayne, get down there and get your prize, brother. You won something. I'm sure everybody that got one won. At least I would think so. Get down there and call us back and tell us what it is.
All right.
Do it. Can you do it today and call us back by 1?
I can do it today.
Get down there. I want to know what he gets. Call us back. I want to know if you got the 300, the gift card, the 15,000. I want to know what he got. Everybody hold tight. Gina, Wayne, Sherry, everybody hang on. We've got a lot coming up. We've got a problem with an auto body shop and much, much more. I'm Mark Major. It's a Troubleshooter Network.
Hey, Angie.
Yeah, I want to get you some of those bigger ones, man.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
I got to
like you said, I love those garage. We do some of the Mako shops. Those have been good policies.
Well, see, that's what we got to talk about then. We got to make sure people understand the different ones you're doing. In fact, who else besides Mako? What is Mako? M-A-C-O?
M-A-A-C-O.
That's right.
Is Mako.
I always want to say double A-M-C-O, Amico.
Yeah,
Brandon Siglian's here. That's bringing them up. No. I gotta spray this spray.
Brandon Siglian's here.
See what I do with Brian? It's daily.
I drove by.
Sometimes it's in my sleep.
We were going to drive by the mall. Well, we drove by the mall. In fact, we drove in the parking lot of the mall because I got to return these iPhones.
Yeah.
The old ones to get the trade-in.
Hold on a second. You're not getting iPhones.
Not me, Jack. That's all they
Your family?
Our whole kids.
I can't believe
he's the only non-iPhoner in our house.
Wow.
He's an non-iron.
Well, I know he is. He's very clear about how everybody jumps out of buildings for Apple.
Not everybody, just the kids.
Just the children. Not the management. Not the CEO. You jump or I push you.
That mall was a nightmare, though.
Oh, my God.
Which one did you go to?
We didn't.
Park Meadows?
We pulled into the Park Meadows, a big loop around it. Holy shit, there wasn't one spot anywhere you could see all the way over to Costco.
Dan, did you see my message that Mark
What's up, Brandon?
Mark's kind of is
right here.
getting loud in
this
the
is Brian Burns with Commerce Insurance. Brandon Siglian, he's our landlord-tenant attorney.
Perfect.
No, I looked at you. I looked at you.
You know the drill?
Just on
And you were
Facebook.
right there. You were doing a commercial.
No, I don't know.
So I don't know. Just
Ooh, no, I didn't get a message from you on that, but you could
on
listen.
your messages.
Yeah.
No,
Nothing from
maybe I
you.
didn't push enter.
Man, I didn't see my spots. I have way more spots than I do.
That would help. I am a little blonde, so deal with it. All right. I'm still working on those, so. I need to be able to get here to bonk you on the head if I make you fast.
You can bonk.
Snappy.
I would have no problem belching on the radio, but I think iHeart be pissy. Brandon, how's life, sir?
Oh, not too bad. I was telling Daphne, we called it a merry sickness. All our kids got sick. 2 different stomach flu and a head cold.
The whole building here, I survived, but a lot of people were really sick in this building.
Yeah,
man.
they were. They said the flu was going around. Yeah, stomach flu and... Oh, I thought they were saying real flu.
Here was the real
flu.
flu.
There could be 2 flus. And there was like, one was we don't know what the other one was.
It was nasty.
So I just went and got the shot. Yeah. Just in time. Griping to my house. She doesn't believe in the shot. Really? She read all the, the conspiracy theories or whatever.
Shit, I'm in line for mine.
I said, I don't care if it's made out of camel testicles. I don't want to be sick again. I'm like,
The we had to go to the doctor. They said that it appears they missed the strain this year, though.
Oh, really?
That the one everybody's been getting sick with is a different strain than what they've been given the shot for on the flu. But
they gave you the shot for the swine flu.
No, I know. They just look at best stats, what they feel. I mean, it's never guaranteed.
You never know.
I haven't had the flu for years. I had West Nile. Probably 2004. Yeah. I remember going to the hospital, and they're like, I mean, it was so bad, like Suzanne's like literally walking me around. I was so out of it. And they said, well, because of your age, we're not going to hospitalize you, but you probably have West Nile. So I'm like, okay. But it was about 2-3 weeks, man. I was out.
When you get the bad version of it like that, your body fights it off. I got the light version, had it for 9 months. And,
it was horrible.
9 months. 9 months, and I was sick.
It was the most sick I've ever been.
The fever and body aches are just like somebody beat you up every day. This guy's that I need to talk to is on a test drive, so he'll call me.
Is it that location?
No, well, yeah, it's that location, but he's over at the Highlands Ranch location today on a test drive.
Is he what's his title?
He's Marty. She said manager, I think.
Hmm.
Anyway, the one guy is from Earth.
I think we're done with Wayne on 2.
Yes, we are. He's running, and he might have won a car.
I'm thinking he's going to walk away with a car that he bought.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen.
As soon as he come on down, and he decided he wasn't even going to go down.
Well, he was upset because they...
No, we did it. Done and over.
That there was not... But here it says Walmart gift card.
Tell him to get his butt down there. He's going to go down and get the prize.
Right. I thought the same thing.
What were we trying to get hold of them yesterday about? Oh, the meth lab.
Yeah, I was on yesterday when the meth lab.
I tell you.
What, damage to the
house?
Damage to the house?
My cousin was a...
Hey, I heard your girlfriend smokes weed. Get him a mic. We'll talk about it.
This is last time.
Who was the car guy that we used to do stuff with on Fridays? He's on the Fox or one of the other stations. He's a cool guy. I can't think of his name though. He's been around here forever. DJ.
Oh, yes. I know exactly.
Used to do car days sometimes.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I was doing the show. It's the first time we ever met.
His name?
And it was right as weed passed for, for everybody, whatever, recreational. And I totally called him out. I said, "You're one of those FM guys. You must smoke weed all the time, right?" And he was absolutely like, could not believe I was asking him this on the air.
On the air.
He admitted it too. He's like, "Well, yeah.
It's legal."
Well, I didn't up until they just passed it.
That's right. Never touched the stuff. I thought you had to do it.
Welcome to the show, 303 Martino, 3037
7-1 Help. That's the help center. And right now, if you own a shop, if you
own anything, they can help you save money on your insurance, and I'm not kidding. At least give it a shot. You got to call them 303-771-HELP. That's the Compass Insurance hotline we're running today. And you know what? I think it sounds a little goofy. I'll say that. I see these things on Channel 9 and 7. Like during the day, they'll say, oh, here's a bunch of attorneys running the help center. I know. What else am I going to tell you? But unlike that crap, I got to tell you something. This is real as real gets. If you want to save money, and you've heard Tom and myself talk about this forever, but you never called, will you just make the call and then call us up later, tomorrow, the next day, next week, and tell us how much you saved? It's that easy. Okay, Brian, I'm being serious. Brian with Compass Insurance, you've seen these shows on TV. Yep. Have you guys ever done one of those?
No, we usually...
Usually they're like workman's comp. Hey, if you've been hurt at work, call us now. And I'm like, generally, oh, by the way, joining us in studio, attorney extraordinaire, Brandon Siglian. How are you, sir? Merry Christmas, by the way.
Merry Christmas to you and yours as well. Thank you.
It's good seeing you, man. You've seen these shows I'm talking about. These, you know, they run them during, like, The Middle, and they run them during the Rosie O'Donnell show, if she still has one, stuff like that.
Sure.
But you know what? I know. You say, oh, I don't want to hear about the help center. I'm telling you, the reason we do this is I promise you, if you haven't shopped your insurance, and I don't care who you use, you might use the General, Progressive, Allstate, I don't care who you use. If you haven't shopped it in a long period of time, what would you say, Brian? 2 years, 3 years?
Usually I say 3 years. If someone's been with the carrier for 3 years, it's a good opportunity to look at it. But a lot of times people are calling us, they've been there 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Clint, okay, so I got to bring this up. We had a caller last hour. Her name was, I'm looking for my notes here. Rhonda. And she basically has a truck that got into an accident about $19,000 about a year ago. Since the accident, they've had to replace the gears in the rear differential 2 times at a dealership, 3 times at Christian Brothers Automotive. Now, Christian Brothers is saying, hey, we found out what the problem was. The rear diff is actually, what term are they using again? Not bent. Twisted?
They said twisted, but this...
hold on, and that's what's causing the problem. Now, the one thing Rhonda neglected to tell us is the insurance company actually paid for a new casing on the rear diff already. And what does that tell us, folks? That tells us either the dealership installed the parts wrong to begin with, or Christian Brothers did, because the part was already replaced. And I guess there's one more option. The used one they put in, if it was used, could have been already screwed up. I mean, why would there be a used casing? That's a question. I'm not going to do it now, but on Car Friday I'm going to ask, why would someone buy a used casing? No, I'm not. Okay, I guess I just figured it out. The car gets totaled. There's nothing wrong with the casing. That's fine. But I'm thinking, why would someone ever turn it in? You just rebuild them. But if something else gets totaled on the car. Here's a question for us. Ken, what's going on?
Hey, Mark, before I talk to you, did you know I've been on hold for an hour and 10 minutes?
No, I didn't. Suzanne, not acceptable. Yes, I did, Ken. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Well, listen, 4 months ago, I bought a truck, a 2008 Toyota Tacoma, 4-door truck, beautiful truck. I would not have bought this truck if it wasn't for the condition.
How many miles are on it, Ken?
124 on it when I bought it. Looked like the only seat that had ever been sat in was the driver's seat.
All right, cool.
Not a scratch.
Got it. Nice truck.
Just beautiful.
Beautiful truck.
On the 7th of December, it was stolen. The police recovered it on the 12th with quite a bit of damage.
What kind of damage? Interior, exterior, all the above?
Exterior and some interior.
Give me an idea of the exterior, like quarter panel.
Well, they used it actually, the left rear, the driver rear, looks to me like they used it to break into a building. They used the back of the truck and crunched that in and some damage, the mirror.
Okay, I got it. So they messed it up.
A lot of damage, right.
So how much did your insurance company say was a lot of damage?
They said just under $10,000 is what the first adjuster said.
What's the value of the vehicle?
Well, there is the problem.
Therein lies your problem.
Exactly. The national average, if you go to a website called Car Story, the national average resale value for my truck without any upgrades is $17,700.
Ken, before we go down this mathematical road, are they totaling it?
they originally they wanted to total it. Originally they told me my truck was only worth $12,500.
Yep.
I've got $1,000 deductible, and so they wanted to total it. I called them and I told them I don't care if it takes 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years. My truck is going to be fixed. Nobody's going to steal it from me a second time.
Yeah, but if they are they still going to total it, then you buy it back as a total?
Okay. According to, now get this. She tells me that it's only worth $12,500, but she tells me that it's very, very valuable as a salvage. That what they do is they take kids and
listen,
so on and
I want to help you, but I need to just get a couple things here. They want to salvage it. Is that correct or not?
Well, no, it's changed. But here's the thing. Okay, finally, she called me last week and told me, she said, do you want to fix your truck? I said, absolutely.
Okay.
She sent me in. I took the truck in yesterday.
Yes.
Turned it in, signed some papers, $1,000 deductible that I will have to pay, and I asked the question, can you give me an idea how long it will take to fix it? She said, the lady said no, says the adjuster from Progressive will be here tomorrow, and they'll give you a call. I'll be here today.
Ken,
they'll give you a call
tomorrow.
Ken, I expect they're going to call me and tell me they're going to total it. That's
they haven't yet, right?
No, but I expect they're going to.
Well, if they do, then okay, Ken.
Listen, Mark.
Ken,
listen, Mark.
Ken.
My question.
All right. I can't. All I want to do is figure out what he's trying to say. That's it, Ken. I'm going to come back to you. Okay, Ken. Go ahead. I'm going to let you talk again. Go ahead, Ken.
Okay. Here's my question. What can I do to get the correct value on my truck? I have a value for $17,000. I have upgraded tires and wheels. I figure the value is $19,500.
Well, it's all going to come. It's going to be what they sell for around here. I would stick to Denver Metro. I've been down this road numerous times. I'd stick to Denver Metro and see what they're selling for. That's the first thing I do. Then
I do that, and they say different.
Well, what do you mean they say different?
They say they use a different program. I'm not sure exactly what
I don't. It doesn't matter what they use. What matters is what these things are actually closing for around here. You're going to have to argue with them to get there. I started one particular vehicle. Brian, you remember this. I started at $16,000.
Yep.
They wanted to write me a check for $16,000. When I was done, I got $23,000 and change. It took 2 months. It took a lot of time, and it took a lot of effort. What I would do is I would call up people like AutoNation. I called up Jim Janicelli at Colorado Springs Dodge, and I said, Jim, run me a report on this car. How much are these retailing for? And he ran a report and sent it back. Then I called up AutoNation, made a contact down there, did the same thing. Then I just looked in the paper to see what they're selling for. I took all the information, I scanned it, I sent it to the adjuster. He went up to $19,000. I said, no, I still don't understand what's going on. I found more comps, sent them more comps, and I just kept going and going, Ken.
Well, and even further than that, you went, Mark, and the comparables they would give you, you would look into them and find out that they weren't accurate.
Yep, Ken.
You know, so you got, it's a lot of homework.
He just brought up something that's amazing, because I always thought up until that particular experience with that car, that once you have the VIN number, you know what package you have. So on your Tacoma, if they pop in your VIN number and it's got leather, I was under the assumption leather popped up, sunroof popped up, whatever it has. That's true on some vehicles, but on the particular one I was working on, all the comps they came back to were the base level. You need to make sure they're not giving you the base level price. Now on tires, Brian, let me ask you this. If he put brand new tires on, when I think of a value of a used vehicle, if you put tires on, you know, within a month maybe, and they're like brand new, maybe 1/32 or the original 30 seconds, I would argue they owe you money for those new tires.
Yeah, you get additional credit based off of the tires if they're brand new tires. There are things you can do to ratchet that figure up.
But it's going to be grabbing those receipts. Here's when I bought those tires. Here's when I did this. Now,
and don't use national averages. That's not going to get you anywhere to say this is the national average.
Oh,
use
no way.
Specifics in this area.
Yeah, and if they try to talk you out of them, Ken, don't, because here, I'll give you a great example. An all-wheel drive Jeep in Colorado is worth a hell of a lot more than it is in Phoenix, Arizona.
I understand.
And then same with, I'll give you a good one, a Ferrari. I'm not kidding here. You know what a Ferrari sells for here? Crap. If you're selling a Ferrari, you bring it to California. Literally, that's where you sell a Ferrari.
Okay.
Now, here's what you're going to do, though. If you need more specifics, I got what you're saying, Ken. I don't mind helping you, but you got to do some research for what that vehicle's selling for around here. Now, I'm going to ask Brian one more question with Compass Insurance. At what point, if they don't come up and they keep saying $12,000, what do? And he just doesn't want to go there.
Go to your appraisal process in your policy.
That's
so you
right.
you can actually go through an appraisal process where you get an expert or an umpire, and then an umpire is hired, and basically they settle on a figure. So you do have some options here.
And Ken, if it gets to that, I'll get Bob, the car guy, involved. I'll get some other people involved that can probably help you through the appraisal. Once you start threatening that, but more importantly, once you get real evidence that they can't argue against, call up these dealerships, say, here's what I'm looking for. Can you send me some? That's the easiest way to do it. I have connections with dealerships because of the nature of what I do. But anybody can call up, talk to a sales guy, and say, hey, I'm looking for a 2008 Tacoma, all-wheel drive, blah, blah, blah. Can you find me one? And if so, can you send me over a bid? Get 4 or 5 of those. Some people actually show you how much they close for. I think Blinker. Download the Blinker app, blinker.com. Download that and search for that vehicle. There might be a ton of them for sale on there. All right. Yeah. I'm going to put you on hold, okay, Ken? Actually, grab his info if he needs some more. You can share an email with him. And I don't mind helping them if it gets into the appraisal process, but Brian, generally, it doesn't get to the appraisal process, right?
No, once you have hard data like that, they really do start responding, and sometimes, I have no idea if Ken's expectations are higher than they should be or not, but you just have to have real data to go there.
And I've been there. It's frustrating and it's time-consuming. I mean, really, that's what it is. But, it's not going to be a bad faith claim because in something like this, you go through the appraisal process.
Right. You have some way to solve the problem.
All right. Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ. These guys are unbelievable. Dr. Kent Lawson. In fact, Martino's kids are over there. I wish Suzanne and I knew about this guy before we got our kids braces. Luckily, we're done paying for braces. How long did Miles and Addie have them on? 3-4 years?
Yeah.
If you get your kids over to Dr. Kent Lawson when they're younger, let's say 5-6 years old, maybe a little older, they can actually do stuff to their palates right now so they won't need what we would refer to as traditional braces. Can you imagine that, not having to deal with braces, and his parents not having to pay for it, so it's a win-win for everybody. He also does advanced adult orthodontics and treatment. He can create a beautiful smile. He can do it without extraction of the permanent teeth or surgery. The guy is amazing. He's been doing this more than 30 years. He's a pioneer in Denver when it comes to orthodontics and TMJ. Give him a call, set up an appointment, get your kids down there, get yourself down there. I mean, he's got over 5,000 successfully treated cases in the Denver metro. Dr. Kent Lawson, 303-690-0100. Write it down, maybe for your grandkids, your kids. Just get down there. 303-690-0100. 303-690-0100.
Okay, Brandon, what do you want to talk about? You want to hit tenant landlord for landlords?
Sure, but we could talk about, last time we were here, we just talked about that they can't do rent increases for 21 days.
Say it again?
You have to wait 21 days.
To do a rent increase?
Let's see. Yeah, 21 days notice if tenancy of 1 month or longer but less than 6 months. There's no written agreement between the landlord and tenant. They can increase rent.
Okay, so in other words, if I'm renting to Brian and we're on a month-to-month and I want to raise it, I got to give him 21 days notice.
Yep.
Is that new?
It is, since August 9 of 17.
Now,
the same thing also to month-to-month. It used to be 7 days notice prior to the next, now it's 21 days. So they have to give more notice, and that helps the landlords and the tenants.
Now, if I'm renting to Dan, and I find out he's transitioning, can I evict him based on the transitioning? Is that legal or not?
Based on the transitioning.
If I say I lease to a man, you're now a woman.
Transitioning.
I wonder what kind of transitioning you were talking about.
Could I?
That would be one that I would want to think that.
But if someone does change gender, does that break the lease?
Sexual orientation is not would be considered.
I'm not saying he's gay. I mean, he is. Well, I'm just saying if he literally changes his gender, though.
Right. I think sexual orientation is part of the.
How about if they legally change just their name?
Because
does that void the lease?
The difference is not. No, it's not void the lease.
So I can't get rid of Dan.
Because this happens all the time.
From month to month, you gotta give him 21 days notice.
What? You haven't run across this week?
That's a new one. That's an album one. I have to do a little research on
Mark
that.
brings these things that usually happen quite a bit.
Everybody deals with it.
Yeah.
I have a couple examples, Mark.
I wish. They just came out.
They just texted me. I want to give a couple examples. These are not commercial, but they're auto.
Man, I got a free pen and pencil set.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what he gets.
Oh, the guy at the contest?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going down there.
I can tell you what I'm
going to get a Walmart card.
I'm convinced it's going to be a $300 gift certificate to that place.
So I'll say it's Walmart gift card, but it doesn't say value.
Do you want me to make banners for them?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
In,
Get everything, and Colorado Springs?
Yes, in Champ, banner's gone. For Champion.
Oh, Champion. Banner's gone, but they're still on.
Yeah, they're still on the list for right now, yes.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? So there is this gal that came on the radio.
Who's transitioning.
And she owns her condo. The HOA was fixing the roof. The roof leaked into her home. But the problem is they came up and worked on it again, and now it's leaking onto the stairs. Big ice. They won't do anything.
We had this one before.
Yes, I'm telling him. I told him. We already had him on the show.
Well, they went out and did something.
Yeah.
And then they stopped.
Stopped what?
They stopped working. They
Well,
just
it's not
have all the
leaking
crap.
anymore, is
No, it's leaking like crazy.
Oh, really?
And they will not do
see it.
anything. Yeah, she's got pictures there, but they are not in the office until after the beginning of the year.
It's still leaking into their home or no?
Into the home, onto the stairs.
It's only onto the stairs. It wasn't in the home before.
It's even worse now that
right. Well, it's cold weather. I'm sure
yes.
It's a big pile of water now.
Yeah, and they will not do anything.
That's crazy.
Like they're not doing, and this only thing she has is her home.
Well, send her a pair of ice skates and let's forget about it.
I put
no
them on
charge
notice.
for the rain.
We are putting you on notice that we know, and if anybody forgets.
Oh, this show hardens you.
She's
I'm just convinced everybody's out to get us.
Years ago, she is on food safety.
She no longer needs an ice maker.
They are like treated.
Oh man.
And almost.
HOA Nazis.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, without looking at the declarations to see for sure, but typically that common area is going to be the responsibility of the HOA. If they slip and fall, then that's going to be on the HOA's insurance. HOA insurance is always tough to say because sometimes their deductibles are like $15,000. So unless there's a huge thing there in insurance, they make decisions based upon whether even they're deductible. But yeah, that's certainly something.
All right, it is time for Troubleshooter Trivia. You ready for this?
He came to America in 2003, $300 in his pocket, no family, no friends. He lands in New York City. He takes a bus to Denver. He starts working with a granite fabricator. I got to tell you who it is. It's Mitch Floria. And guess where he was? Was it this week or last week, babe?
It was last.
Yeah, he was out at our house last week. Thank God for Art of Granite in Mitch Floria. He came out. We got a brand new sink. Or no, I'm sorry. We got a brand new cooktop, gas cooktop, and the old one was smaller. So he came out and he cut our pre-existing granite to fit it. It was like it was brand new and fabricated on the spot. This guy does everything. But what he's known for, if you get the kitchen done, by the way, he's got beautiful cabinets we have in our bathroom upstairs and in our mudroom. Gorgeous line of cabinets, all different prices. But what he's known for is if you get the kitchen done, he'll do the bathroom for free. If you want the best granite in the world, you want your house to look better than anybody else's in the neighborhood, but still save money, artofgranite.net. You can check him out there online. You can check him out at Referral List, or you can call him right now for an appointment, 303-386-5919, 303-386-5919, artofgranite.net. All right, 303-713-8255. Insurance hotline, by the way. Give me some examples. I saw you looking over there. Give me the best example, Brian.
Best one that just came in that they sent me. Guy is with Geico for auto and home insurance. Been there for a few years, but did it himself, obviously.
So he logs on, blah, blah, blah.
Well, and he chose his coverages, did not realize that he didn't have uninsured motorists.
Oh, man.
Just because it's not overly obvious when you're doing it. On his home insurance, he had, like, hardly any loss of use, which means if his house burned down, he had to go live somewhere, he would have very little coverage for that.
So it wouldn't even pay for a Motel 6.
Right, exactly. So anyways, we went through, found a lot better coverage, and saved him $1,741 a year.
See, people, what you've got to understand, not only is he saving almost $2,000 a year, but now he's got the proper insurance is going to be in place. I hate to admit this, and John Fuller about smacked me around when he found out. I didn't realize I didn't have the MedPay.
Right.
I had no idea why I'd need MedPay. And then we got into an accident, and I wish we had MedPay, because ultimately we ended up with the maximum the people that hit us had. So we ended up getting the full amount of money. But if we had MedPay, we would have ended up with another $20,000 plus, because the medical bills would have been paid out of that.
Right.
So I screwed myself on coverage. How much is MedPay? It's next to nothing.
Right. Yeah, it's a pretty inexpensive coverage.
I totally screwed myself on the MedPay. And here I was. I had a $500,000 limit. I had an umbrella. I was paying for all this stuff and didn't have MedPay. And then what did I do? I called you up, and you found me a better deal. Who did I end up with? Progressive.
Progressive, yep.
And I've got MedPay. It's got that cool windshield thing, too.
Yeah, $0 deductible or $50 deductible for windshields.
Yeah, and the windshield on my one car is crazy. It's like thousands of dollars.
Yep.
So it's amazing. You got to call them. They'll save you a ton of money. But I want to reach out and tell people, if you own a business, if you're a contractor, when you get home from work, when you're done, or if you're home today, I don't care what you own. Well, you don't do medical, right?
No health insurance at all.
No, but I mean like, malpractice. Nothing.
Yeah, that's really more of a specialty.
It is.
That's not something we're really into.
But if you own a automotive shop, a body shop, a convenience store, any kind of thing like that, or workman's comp, you've got employees, give these guys a call. Right now, you can always find them on referral. Let's just check for Compass. But you can also find them right now, 303-771-HELP, 303-771-HELP. Sherry's been holding forever. Then I want to get to Brandon Siglian and find out what's going on. You said there's a big thing new, tenant-landlord. If you're on a month-to-month, there's a big new law.
Yep.
All right. Sherry, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. I took my car in to an auto body dealership for hail damage.
Okay, what's it called?
The name of the shop?
Yeah.
It's called BJ's Auto Theft and Collision Specialist.
BJ's Auto Theft and Collision Specialist.
Correct.
Okay, so BJ's Auto Theft. By the way, I don't think that's the best name, but keep going.
Okay, so I take my car in for hail damage, which was $8,400.
Okay.
Take my car in for hail damage, drop it off, the car is fine. They call me back in a couple weeks saying it's done. I get there, and my steering column has been tampered with.
Well, how do you know? Is it, like, broken? What do you mean it's been tampered with?
Okay, so when I got in the car, my airbag light was on the driver's side.
Yeah.
And when I went to steer the car, there was a very loud crunching noise, and it did not even want to turn.
Well, my God. So then but when you brought it there, it was just exterior hail damage, right?
Correct.
So what do they say? I mean,
okay. When I took it to them 10 days prior, I had taken it in for a 60,000-mile checkup, and everything was fine.
Okay, so you have that paperwork, everything checked out.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you say to BJ's, what the hell's going on? What do they say?
They said that they didn't do anything with it, that they only did exterior hail damage repair, and that they are not responsible.
Well, what do you think?
For any kind of damage.
Have you brought it anywhere, Sherry, like an automotive shop, and said, hey, what's wrong with this? What could have happened?
Right. Yes, I took it to Mike Shaw Subaru, and they told me that they found the clock spring and angle sensor damaged, said it was spun too many times, and inside release pins were moved out of the way.
See, that can't...
Someone tried to move the sensor.
and damaged it.
But why would they do that? What advantage to them?
Well, I mean, did they have to get one of the rods down there to work, like on the inside of the door or something?
No.
Well, then what do you make of it? I mean, tell me what you think happened, Sherry, because it sounds awful bizarre.
Somehow, I really couldn't tell you, but somehow, from what the Subaru dealership told me, that someone tampered with my steering column.
All right, hold on a second, Sherry. I want to make a call to one of our experts. I'm trying to think. Go ahead, Clint.
Most commonly, when the steering column's been fouled with, somebody's jammed a screwdriver and they're trying to get past the lock to try to steal the car.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask Al. I'm a little more curious about something else, though, because I'm not so sure if there was damage right now. I don't know. Let's get him on. The other person. No, let's talk to Al first. 303-771-HELP. That's a helpline, and then 303 Martino is a line you can get through to right now. All right, let's look at this while we're waiting on there. Paul's got a problem with VMAX Automotive. What's going on, Paul?
Yes, sir. Well, I called you last week and talked to you about this, but it was at the very end of your show, so I want to make sure and follow up on it. So in mid-October, I took my van in to get looked at because I was having problems starting. And so the guy basically said, well, your cables are just dirty, so I cleaned them up, and it's starting fine now.
Okay. So
later that night, my wife took the van to church and stuff, and when she got out of church, it wouldn't start, so they had to jump it. And
same problem?
Same problem, yeah.
You realize you could have a bad starter and corroded cables, but continue.
So we took it in later that week, so October 20th, and he said, well, you're going to need a new alternator.
Okay.
So he fixed that, and the next day we go to pick it up.
So I'm sorry, I want to backtrack just 1 second here. So on October what, roughly, did they clean the cables or the connections?
October 13th, roughly.
And then when did they actually say you need an alternator?
Right before the 20th. The 20th is when he replaced it.
Okay, so he replaces the alternator. Now I assume we have another issue. What is it now?
Well, it still wouldn't start. So it was just drawing, like, it just wouldn't hold any power.
I got you.
In the morning we'd have to jump it to get it going.
Sounds like the battery this whole time.
Yeah, well, so he looked at it again, and he said, well, it's the fuel pump now. He said, because your fuel pump is just running and it's not shutting off.
Did you pay for that too?
Yep.
How much was that? I'm curious.
So
7, 8?
That was $607.
So, and when was that?
That was October 30th.
And where do we stand now?
Well, now it's still not running. So
is it the same problem though?
Well, it's hard to say, really.
Well, no, hold on, Paul. Let's just be straight with me here, and here's what I mean. If the cables are there, you're going to turn the key. You might get a click. You're not going to get. You're going to get a no crank, a no start. The same with the alternator. I mean, I don't even know why the alternator would. Was it clicking when it came to the alternator?
Well, it was clicking, and sometimes it would crank. So what the guy told me is that later on, this is so. Past that, on November 6th, he diagnosed it with a wiring issue. So there was a wire that was shorting out, and that was blowing out the fuel pump.
Okay, so you put the fuel pump in. Now what?
So that's what I'm saying. So after that, it would just.
So that's where it's sitting now.
Yeah, that's where it's sitting now. He supposedly fixed this wiring issue. He was waiting for the part to come in. It took forever, and since November 6th, we've been waiting for this wiring issue to get fixed. And still hasn't.
Wait a minute. So he's had it since November 6th on this last deal?
Yes.
Hold on. This guy, I mean, if anything, he sounds like a clown in my opinion. I mean, my God, how many times do you bring a vehicle back for not starting? Let's reach out to this guy. VMAX, who wants to do this one? All right, Clint, please. I mean, just ask him, say, you got October 13th and the 20th and the 30th. Now it's been 2 months. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, send them somewhere else. I mean, I don't know. God, I'm frustrated today. What's wrong with people? I mean, 3 times? 3 times. Let me tell you about something that's new and cool and adventurous and can really help you if you have pain. Yeah? And it doesn't matter where that pain is, but it's stem cells, and it's real stem cells. You know, you can't get live stem cells in the mail, and I'm not kidding there. There's a guy here in town, Centeno Schultz. He's one of the founders of how to really do this kind of technology the right way. And what they do is they go in and get bone marrow, Some places can do it with fat cells, but generally with Centeno Schultz they do bone marrow. They take your own bone marrow, they put it right there in the lab, right there in their facility, and this thing is like unbelievable. Probably one of the most state-of-the-art facilities you've ever seen. Don't go to one of these chiropractor offices and basically, you know, have some chiropractor shoot you up with stuff. Just don't do it. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. You want to go to someone real. Centeno Schultz is a real deal. But anyhow, they'll take it into the lab. They take your own bone marrow. They basically spin it. They prep it. They make the stem cells into super stem cells, or they extract the other stuff so it's very potent. Then they use a guided needle and inject it to wherever your pain is. Maybe it's in your shoulders. Maybe it's in your hips. It doesn't matter where it is, but they take your own living stem cells, and they make them better, or they make them richer, if you will, and then inject them into where the pain is. And it works. That's it. It works. It's the real deal, and it's the only way to get real stem cell therapy. Okay? I can't put it any other way. We used to have another company that did not do it that way. The second we found out, they were gone. This is a real deal. The facility is beautiful. Helps with ACL tears, hips, back, shoulders, hands, the whole bit. Give them a call for more information. Get yourself a new life without pain. 303-963-9201. 303-963-9201.
Issue.
Suzanne,
Kevin Culkin?
Yes.
What? What do you got to say now, Dan?
You're talking to Tim Watley on there.
Oh, because he says, Mark, have you ever heard of the Dollar Shave Club? And I'm like, don't encourage that. I love his facial hair. He's like, you should get him the butt gel. Look that up. I'm like, I couldn't find butt gel, but I could find butt wipes.
I see that. I said, what the hell are you guys talking about?
No shaving here.
That's funny.
Elements massage.
Okay, and the one with Gina is going to be exactly like the one you almost covered and stuff with the new tires. She had just bought new tires.
What's just?
Bought tires 3 days before the car was totaled.
Well, she should have got. Did she already sign off on everything?
No.
Okay. Well, then they need to. She just needs to send them the receipt.
No. And then they've got a rental car issue there, but.
We'll find out she just bought new used tires.
No shit, it's like $760, I think. They're very expensive used tires. I'll bet you it's a draw on the battery is what it is. I bet you it's not a new battery.
With the battery the whole time. You can have them.
No, it's a draw. I bet you there's a draw in there.
What do they call that?
A leak or?
No, there's a word for that kind of draw. I can't think of it.
And that's what Lakewood Electric does all the time, right?
Yeah, what's that? Systemic? No, not systemic. What the hell's the name? Now I gotta look it up. How do you look up a word you don't know what it is?
What's the low-level draw? Electrical draw. Electrical.
Parasitic. So in your face. It's a parasitic draw.
Meaning something is still drawing energy away from it when
Even
the car is off.
Yeah. And that's big. That Lakewood Electric, he actually did an invention that they can do.
They can figure out what it is that's doing it.
Yeah.
And usually it's a parasite. Therefore, parasite.
Well, it sounds like they think it was the fuel pump. That's what this guy thought, right?
This guy thought it's been everything.
Yeah, I know.
This is crazy. First of all, the alternator, they should be able to, that's the easiest test.
Yeah.
You can see when it's running, it's just putting out voltage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the... I'd say I want my old alternator back.
What did he say besides the clock spring?
Clock spring.
In the steering wheel. Didn't he say the clock spring?
Right.
Is that what he said? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's called a clock
I
spring.
don't know what that is.
But he did say clock spring, though, right?
Okay. Whatever the clock spring is, I have no idea what it is. I've never heard that terminology.
It's in the
ignition.
It's not in the key part of the ignition. Behind it.
Is Al on?
No, Kevin is.
Different person.
And Sheridan on.
Parasitic, baby.
Well, you hit Kevin on both of those, huh?
Well, the other guy's not there anymore, right?
Which guy?
The one with the steering column problem?
That was Sherry. That's the auto body. That's why I got Kevin on.
Oh, that's her. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, where's your parasitic draw? Where's that guy?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he dropped off. He did.
Where'd the parasitic draw guy go? What are we doing? Yeah, the one Clint's working on. Okay.
He's off?
Yeah, we freed him up.
I'm doing an online webinar, national webinar on abandoned tenant property. So
anybody can join?
Well, yeah, it's generally for attorneys and property managers and landlords.
You guys are putting it on?
But I am, yeah.
Is there a cost?
Yeah, I can't say what the cost is, but I can definitely field questions on that right now too.
All right, Mark Trenner Law. I tell you what, if you have an invention, if you want to get a trademark, a copyright, don't go with these people on TV, these late-night aggregators that, want to cut themselves into the profit. Mark Trenner at Trenner Law, he's local, he's here, and he's great. He's an engineer, he's an attorney, he's a whole deal. He can help you with any patent, any trademark, and you'll do it for a very reasonable price. 720-221-3708, Trenner Law, 720-221-3708. Brandon Siglian joined us a while back. Brandon, tenant landlord stuff, and I promise Kevin Colkin I've got on with Sheridan Auto Tech, and we're going to go back to Sherry and talk about that. So hold tight, you guys. Gina, you'll be next, and then Wayne's got something with a firearm or something. Anyhow, Brandon, you said a rule change. So if I'm a landlord, I want to put this in very layman's terms. If I'm a landlord and I have someone living in one of my units, that's month to month, and I want to raise the rate, it used to be how?
Well, it used to be you could raise the rent at any time, essentially.
End of story.
Yeah.
As long as they weren't in that period.
Well, they could even be in that period. So, rent's due tomorrow. You could say, well, effective tomorrow, I'm going to be increasing rent. Now, if you wanted to try to terminate that lease ahead of time, you would have to give 7 days notice. And that's even changed now to 21 days notice.
21 days.
21 days.
So so really this affects the landlord. This is good for the consumer, if you will, bad for the landlord.
Well, I think it actually cuts both ways. I think it helps both sides. Here's how it does. So for a tenant, they're going to have additional notice, 14 more days notice before the landlord could terminate them. So that's going to give them more time to find a new place. For the landlord, it's going to require the tenant to give 21 days notice rather than 7 days, giving the landlord more time to find a replacement tenant.
Oh, right, you're right. It does cut both ways. But on the raising the rent part, that's it. They raise it, they have to wait 21, they can't do it the next day.
You got to be 21 days. And then
so that is purely for the tenant side. There's no reason the landlord, that's pure, right. Yeah, exactly.
That's to stop, we've had rent increases just go through the roof lately. This is going to apply not just to month, but any leases that are 1 month or longer, but less than 6 months. So if it's 6 months or longer, they don't have to give that kind of notice. But if you had month to month or 2 months to 2 months, those kind of tenancies, it would apply a 21-day requirement.
We're going to talk more about that. Then you've got a webinar coming up that's great for attorneys and what?
And property managers and landlords. So you can contact me. It's going to be on tenant abandoned property. It ranges from, it's going to be on a national scale, so it's going to talk about the differences between the states, but how to handle, when you got, the tenant died. What if the tenant leaves a pet in the property? What if there's guns in the property, drug? What
are the rules?
What are the rules? What can you do with that property? How do you absolve yourself from liability? as a landlord or a property
and even if you're just a single landlord out there and only have maybe 1 or 2 units or a duplex or something, there's a lot of stuff Brandon can help you on. I mean, you've got a lot of forms. A lot of people don't realize you got to give notice if you're keeping their deposit, and if you don't, the tenant can go after treble damages.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one we see a lot.
But people don't know that. They think, oh, okay, even if the guy really did destroy the walls or destroy the carpet and there's a valid reason to keep it or no pet deposit or something, if they don't do it the right way, they could end up paying treble damages or triple the amount.
We try to educate landlords. We have a landlord package where we go through the steps, have a master lease, and give all the forms necessary and look for those pitfalls because you know, it's pretty common. We get a landlord that comes to our office. They're being sued for triple damages and attorney's fees. They didn't.
And it's too late.
It's too late by this time. They blew the deadlines. They didn't know what they were doing, and they thought it was going to be a simple. And a lot of times it happens to what we call the.
And they ended up really getting screwed because the damage is real.
Yeah, all their profits.
Yeah. Went out the back.
Go out the back. Yeah.
So, okay, Brandon Sigley, and you can always find him on the referral list. Any questions you have, tenant, landlord, and you'll represent tenants, too, if your landlord's really, you know, putting the screws to you in a real way. A lot of times they're not, though. That's the problem. A lot of times they're not. But either way, you cut either direction, 720-344-4828, 344-4828. I want to go to Kevin Calkin with Sheridan Auto Tech real quick. Kevin, I've got a strange one here. I'm going to bring Sherry up. What are you laughing for? He's killing me. Kevin.
Gotta love Kevin.
Kevin.
I'm here.
Yeah, I don't hear you laugh that way when Tom pulls you up.
Yeah, he doesn't start out with that. It's a strange one.
Well, okay, what am I supposed to... Okay, I know where Kevin's going. Sometimes I'll start... I get a real nutball here. That's not what I'm saying, though. Sherry's got a real problem. So Sherry brings her car into a body shop, okay, for hail damage only.
Okay, PDR or...
Yep, paintless dent repair. It was all PDR, right, Sherry?
No, not all PDR. It was $9,400 in hail damage.
Okay, well, oh, God, once again, I'm thinking the whole thing's PDR. But anyhow, let's continue down this road. So she spends $8,400, $9,000 with them. She goes to pick it up, and the steering column's all messed up. And she's just having issues everywhere. Long story short, she gets it over to a shop, and what is the shop saying now, Sherry, is wrong with the steering column? The clock spring, what else?
The clock spring and the sensor, and they said somebody was in there because the pins were out of place, that is behind the horn and into the airbag. So they said somebody's in there tampering with it and was trying, I don't know if they tried to fix it and they couldn't. I don't know, but...
Well, that's where we're at. In the shop, the shop is denying any culpability. They're saying we didn't do anything to that whatsoever. Here's an interesting part, though, Kevin. Right before this hail damage and she brought it in, she had it at, what was it? Where did you bring it? Mike Shaw? I forget where you said you brought it.
Yeah, Mike Shaw Subaru.
She brought it to Mike Shaw Subaru for the 60,000-mile checkup that's in her owner's manual. And by the way, you probably overspent. You should have went to Sheridan or Alaramas or somewhere else, but that's a whole different story. But she went there, so on the 60,000-mile check, you know, they go through, they checked everything off, there was no problem.
They certainly would have seen that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so what can cause that? Can a clock spring just go out when someone's doing hail damage? How about if they had to pull it in and out numerous times? I mean, could it be wear and tear? I want you to think about that because Drew's ready to smack me on the head if I don't get to this break. 303-713-8255. Hold him on for me. And Approval Reverse Mortgage, Joan Sullivan, one of the best ladies I know out there. If you're over 62, you intend to live in your house or home for as long as possible, you have equity in the home, and pretty much you need more income or want more income, or maybe you want to get a bigger house, a smaller house, but you want to take some of that money out and use it in your older age. Maybe travel. I mean, really, who cares? You deserve it. You work for it. If you want more money, the one that's going to give you the straight skinny on reverse mortgages is Joan Sullivan. 303-771-3528, 303-771-3528. So I'm showing just 4 left. So we'll just do them all next hour, right? I'll do Simply Floors. You got any more?
Yeah.
Any businesses yet?
No. I don't know.
Oh, because
they could be calling. They're just texting me ones where they're showing me savings.
Got it.
So they wouldn't have that yet for commercial. They might have called, though. By the way, right when you were going to hold on up, you heard him that Kevin was asking what kind of car it was.
Oh, it's a good idea. Hold on. Sherry, what kind of car is it? What kind of car is it?
These shops just that incompetent.
Hold on. Hey, Kevin, it's a 2000 cross-check. Hold on. 2000, I think, 12 cross-check Subaru. Does that help? Hold on.
Why is it car day?
Did you say 12? 13, hold on. 13 cross-check. Cross-check that. Hold on.
All 5 calls have been car day.
Yeah, it happens. I mean,
So you get one, you hear one, and then someone's...
people go, oh, I had a problem with that.
Right.
Yeah. How do you not put a meter on an alternator to check it for voltage before you replace it?
They might have. He could have had... That's a problem with electrical, man. You can have a bad alternator, a bad starter, and a corroded battery all at the same time. It happens.
But you're going to read 13.8 on the alternator if it's working. I mean,
well, no, because it can go up. You can... Okay, it can get hot and stop working.
Okay. But
in other words, it could be fine when it's cold.
They can't get it to crank and replace a fuel pump. I mean, that's... Usually they crank like crazy. I don't know. It just sounds like the guy's really incompetent at the shop. He's just throwing parts at it.
Well, you don't name your shop BJ's. I mean, I don't care.
I know.
We had one years ago that was Oops Construction.
Hey, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you know any reputable property managers in the area? Because we get that question a lot.
We don't have any.
We
get it more than you'd think. So if you want to reach, if you want to reach out and find a relationship and give us one in a few days, it could benefit you if you work it that way.
Okay.
But I'm just asking because we get the question all the time. Like,
we got it like, what, 2 days ago?
Do you know anyone?
Yeah, I represent a number of property managers. I always just hate to refer because it's kind of a conflict of interest for me to kind of favor one over another, or also if it ends up where the property manager is has an eviction or something, and I'm representing the landlord because the landlord's doing the eviction, and then there becomes a conflict.
Why don't you do this? Can you send us over a list of a few?
I can. I thought I had before. Maybe it was somebody else.
And then
typically I can send over some names.
Just, yeah.
Some ones that are going to rip people off. And then give it to Nate to call them, and first one signed, we'll start using them.
I'll just shoot you.
But I'll feel really comfortable if they're coming from him, because some of them suck, man.
That's the thing too.
You can get Vinny and his wife.
It's always hard for me to, because I don't, I'm not supervising them. I don't know, and then when you go to court, it's always they did this and this and it's never like they're the best property management company. You're good. Exactly. So it's always we get that with family law too, where there's like child and family investigators. There's so many now with online listings. People get if they're on the wrong side of the case, they just start throwing reviews up. So you get online, you're looking up an expert on anything, and they're like, they did this and they did that, and you're just like, everybody's you don't know who to believe is the go-to anymore.
Because people tend to leave negative reviews much
more than they do.
Much more frequently.
I'll bet it's at least 3 to 1.
Oh, I would agree with that, at least. I say it's more than that.
Because
if you're happy with it, you just don't think about it.
Unless you're really happy with it.
Yeah, it has to be extreme.
Right.
Almost be prompted.
Right.
Would you mind?
Yeah, you're right.
All right, SimplyFloorsInc.com. You're not going to go wrong. Save up to 40-50%. Hardwood laminates, luxury vinyl tile. They have everything. They have all brands, all sizes. We've got that new LifeProof carpet in our house, and it's the best stuff you'll ever get. You got dogs, kids, live anywhere. I mean, honestly, there's nothing better. It's got almost like a rubber backing, so the padding never gets hit with any kind of stains. It's just wonderful. But Buddy Mitchell, the owner, can tell you all about it. Tom and I rave about this guy. We get good news on him constantly. Hey, I followed your advice. We went We had Buddy Mitchell out in the gang. It went smooth. It went perfect. We saved a ton of money compared to the other guys. Don't go to these places on TV. Buy one room, get 4 free. It's all crap. The real deal is simplyfloorsinc.com. Simplyfloorsinc.com. You can do everything right there. Simplyfloorsinc.com. All right, 303-713-8255. Kevin Culkin, Sheridan Auto Tech. I want to get back to you. Sherry had her car at that body shop. Bottom line is she went to pick it up, and the clock springs broke. Other stuff's broke on there. What do you make of it? Is there any way that can just happen, normal wear and tear? You think someone tried to steal it or what?
That's my first guess. I mean, the 2013 is not going to have wear and tear in there.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you noticed, Sherry? Were the covers missing or moved? You got an upper and lower cover, and the steering wheel cover?
No, it was all back the way it originally was, but the driver's side airbag light was on, and the technician that was giving me my car said that he test drove it and somehow noticed the problem, and he said he didn't feel it was even safe to drive.
Well,
yeah, with a light on, it would be yeah.
Here's a problem. If people don't know this, if that airbag light's on, that means the system's generally disabled, or at least a airbag.
Exactly.
So, Sherry, so where they're standing is, hey, we didn't do anything, huh?
Correct, and that they're not liable for the damage, and they're threatening to repossess my car.
Why? Why?
Because I only paid them the amount of the repairs, less of the hail repairs, less the damages that were caused by them.
So you already, well, okay, but here's the problem. You don't know they caused it for sure. Let's say it was in their lot, and someone did try to steal the car in the middle of the night, and they didn't steal it. I mean, these people had the key to it. Why would they shove a screwdriver in there?
Mm-hmm. But they should have told her, you know, if they put it back together, that's certainly something they should have told her, that this happened.
Is there any way that stuff could have been damaged without that happening, Kevin? I mean,
no.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
It has to. You got to take it apart for the pins to shear and everything. That's vandalism.
Sherry, are they saying it was like that when you brought it in?
Yes, they are.
God, that's a tough one.
Of my odometer without a date.
All right.
Picture saying that it was left.
All right, we're going to make a call over there. We're going to make a call over there, Sherry, and see what their side of it is, because, I mean, what is it called again? BJ's?
B as in boy, BJ's Auto Theft and Collision Specialist.
Yeah, hold on a second. We're going to call over there. By the way, Kevin Culkin, Sheridan Auto Tech, as always, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Anytime.
Yeah, 2 locations, and the other thing I was going to say, we had another call. The lady was bringing it. She did 60,000-mile checkup at the dealer. You can do those at probably half the price as a dealer, right? And they're still under warranty. Kevin Culkin, Sheridan Auto Tech, 303-455-7242. Make an appointment. You can always find them at referrallist.com, 303-455-7242. We got a lot more coming up with Brandon Siglian. We've got more examples from Compass Insurance on how much money you can save. We've got problems and complaints coming up. We're going to kick some ass, take some names. I'm Mark Major. We'll be right back.
Hey, Angie, the producer.
Okay. Whoops, sorry.
Deputy Dan, you want to handle that one? Or give it to,
No, I didn't see what I could do.
just see what BJ's Auto Body has to say. I mean,
I'll try to get them on.
You know, if someone did break into it, they're not necessarily at fault,
right?
Because the car was there, but they should have fucking said something.
Right.
And they could be at fault too, honestly. Just the fact it's like in Congress. It's the cover-up. It's not the crime at this point.
Good point. And it's called clock springs, right?
Yeah, the clock. Well, clock spring. I don't know if there's multiple.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe in the coming months here, doing some screaming deals on real estate closings. Is that going at odds with your real estate guy? And
No, not at all. In fact, I wish you would, if we started doing some spots for you, that'd be perfect. I might have one coming up. What do you usually charge?
$1,500.
Okay.
And then
And then I always do them through a title company because I always make the other guy buy the policy.
Yeah, and then if I'm on the actually on either side and the deal doesn't go through, then the next one is $1,000.
No, that's a good idea, especially for the commercial stuff. Yeah, I used Ryan Wood forever. He's done a ton of mine. He got out of virtually everything got hired by a bankruptcy, and all he's doing is bankruptcy.
Oh, really? I was going to ask you what happened. He got off the list and went into a bankruptcy for him.
Yeah, he literally, I think what happened is twins. His wife had twins, and I think with court dates and everything he was taking on, it was insane. He was never at home. He was probably getting a lot of shit, and he had no support. He had one, I don't even know if technically she was a paralegal, but he had one person answering the phone.
Right.
And the stuff he did do for us was great. He did all my real estate. He did a lot of stuff for callers and made some money and everything. But I think he was killing them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta. I'm in the same kind of. I'm not kind of trying to ratchet a few things back.
Well, you get into
kind of
one
burn
big
myself
case, and it can consume the shit out of you.
And that's the problem. I've got right now. I have 3 really big cases, and then all the other stuff is still coming at me, and I gotta.
Yeah, now you're really picking and choosing.
And then you're just getting really spread too thin.
I like where you're going with like that one product you sell for landlords, this webinar. When you're doing one thing that can benefit a lot of people, it's really just fine-tuning it to that audience and the cost they're willing to pay, and then the follow-up. How does that sell the product on the back end? But I don't know any other attorneys kind of going that direction.
Right.
So I'll tell you who it's similar to. It's similar to some of the big guys that do class action. They really, it's really the same format.
Yeah. You got to streamline your focus.
You got to streamline it, and you've got to just get them signed up left and right.
Yeah.
Because you're not making it individually with those guys. Geez, I saw something pop up. Now I don't see it. I hate that.
So I need our bathroom remodel. So here's what I got: this tub in my master.
Yeah.
And the hot water, it gets extremely hot. Like it's not really regulated. I don't know why.
That'll be right in the. Generally, that's right in the fixture.
In the fixture?
Yeah, there's literally a screw in there that can do that.
That can do that?
Yeah, I know that because we just had ours remodeled, and mine was the opposite. It was getting lukewarm. And I called my contractor up, and it took me a screwdriver, literally, and I dialed it in.
Right. So we've had this black stuff coming out of it. It's like we think it might be rubber, and I looked online, like sometimes the hose that goes into the water heater. It's only from this tub, really. Sometimes
how old's the water
heater?
Run
the tub. It's a new water heater, but I don't know if they maybe didn't change the. So I don't know how the cord that goes into the water heater would affect all of the drains, or all.
Well, because the filter in there.
Right.
How big are the particles?
I mean, when it comes out, it's like it's bad. I mean, it looks like rubber.
How old's the water heater?
2 years, less than 2 years.
And it's just black fragments.
Yeah, and it really only comes out of the tub. But if I
only
run the tub hot water and it starts coming out.
Can you see if Todd Terry can get his plumber on real quick for something?
Then it will sometimes then I'll turn on some of the other hot water, and sometimes it'll come out, and then it'll clean itself out in these other taps. But it almost seems like it back flushes into the other faucets, but.
Either Todd, if you can't get his plumber, Todd's not the plumber, but he hires a plumber.
And so I'm thinking but we can, looking at, it's kind of old dated stuff too, from the early 90s, so I'm looking at a remodel for the whole thing and kind of fix that while they're doing it.
Anybody, I gotta find a new producer.
Bathroom, all about bathrooms, is that you'd recommend out of the we recommend out of all the guys on this.
Say that again, for what?
All about bathrooms?
For what, though?
For remodel, looking at...
Oh, for the whole remodel?
Yeah, for the master bathroom remodel, maybe putting in a steam shower or something.
Once again,
I'll tell you afterwards.
Only told us part of the story.
Which that, BJ's?
The Rhonda Nicholson with that bent rear axle.
Oh, what now? Not
Christian Brothers did replace the rear axle, and it went bad.
Yeah.
And they looked in there, and they thought one of their techs set it up wrong, so they went and replaced it. And it went bad the second time.
Yeah.
And the second time, they were positive they had it right in there. And so the third time, they sent it out to Western Drivetrain.
Yeah, she said all this.
Oh, and to the dealer and everything. And they told them then, before they put that last one, that it had a bent axle. and they wanted to, and they insisted to go ahead and put the gears in it after they were told the housing. And the housing is bent down and forward, so it's not from off-roading. It was, that truck was hitting the rear corner. The axle that they bought was a bent rear axle was put in that thing. And they said it's visual. You can look down with your eyes and see it's down and forward.
Well, we just got to get over to Mark then.
Yeah.
Is she getting it over there?
I think so, but
it still needs to be fixed. Is the bottom line.
yeah, it's going to have housing. But whatever shop put that housing in, put that differential in, that should be warranty that they put a bent one in.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We solve problems, we answer questions, we take your complaints, we get directly involved in your life, and we try to help you out. We've recovered millions upon millions of dollars. Martino started this thing over 38 years ago. That's just here in Denver. Prior to that, he was, my God, newspaper. His career in TV was unbelievable. That's why this is media with a purpose. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of. One number you need on or off the air, 303-MARTINO. 303-MARTINO. 303-713-8255. By the way, our insurance hotline, if you own a shop, if you own any kind of commercial building, if you own any kind of business, I want you to shop your insurance. I want you to call up Compass Insurance on our hotline right now, 303-771-HELP. And I want you to shop that Garage Keepers. I want you to shop all the different insurance businesses need, and I bet you save money. I bet you do. Now, for consumers, or anybody who owns a house or a car or a condo, maybe you just rent, you need renter's insurance. It's so cheap it's beyond belief, right, Brian? I mean, how much is your average renter's policy?
$20 a month.
Yeah, $20 a month. It'll protect you like you'll never believe. Never believe. It'll protect pretty much anything in there, okay? So you've got to give these guys a call. 303-771-HELP. And as Tom always says, if you've had State Farm, if you've had Allstate, who are some of the other
American Family,
Farmers,
yeah.
Farmers, they creep up. You know, you start with them and years go by. Oh, it's your good friend Elf down there, whatever his name is, and, you know, you get a Christmas card from him and his agency once every year and blah, blah, and you think everything's great. Then you call up Compass and you find out you've been overpaying by $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, or I'm sorry, a year. You have no, say, I don't know, types of insurance you need. Just call them. Get the free insurance checkup. There's no risk whatsoever. 303-771-HELP. And we also have Brandon Siglian in with us today. Now, Dan, we had a caller last hour with BJ's. BJ's
Sherry
Auto Theft
one.
and Collision. Is she back on one?
Yeah, she is.
And she said, hey, I brought my vehicle to BJ's. It had hail damage. $9,000 later, I go to pick it up, and there's something wrong with the steering column. And she brought it, she ended up bringing it to a different store, the airbag light was on, and it appears, according to our expert, someone tried to steal the vehicle at some point. She says it was not like that prior to bringing it into BJ's. In fact, she goes another step, and she actually said, you actually said that you had, hey, I don't have anybody there.
Yeah, BJ hung up, Dan.
Call him back. I might have done that. I might take the rap on that one because I brought her up without locking him in. Okay, so, okay.
Mark, didn't you think it was kind of unusual that the car is stolen at a place called BJ's Auto Theft?
Yeah. I'm a little, hold on. I just got to get this done. Hold on a second. I'm going to put that on hold. Let's see if we can get him back up. And then fill in the data for line 1, please, so I have that. 303-713-8255. I'm just going to go to Gina right now. Gina, how can I help you?
Hey, Mark. I had an accident on October 30th, and at that time I had to rent a car, and they gave me 30 days. And then the 1st of December, they said I had to pay it on my own because my car was totaled, and I still didn't get a payment for my car.
Okay.
And my payment came out to be $560 for rental, and the accident wasn't even my fault, and
Okay, so in other words, well, they don't have to pay you for a rental car forever. So if someone else takes the liability and says, hey, you know, our client hit you and we're going to pay for stuff. I mean, Brian, with Compass Insurance, it doesn't mean they have to pay for a rental car for 8 years, and I'm throwing that out. But what generally is the time frame?
Well, if it's your own insurance that is paying for it, then
that's a whole. You better have that coverage.
You have to have that coverage, and it's 30 days is usually what you'll find on most policies.
So, Gina, did you turn this over to your own insurance for them to subrogate, or the other insurance company took liability?
Well, I tried to do their insurance company. Didn't have any luck getting with them. I get the runaround, so I just went through Hartford, my own.
That's your own. Well, that's why they're only going to be limited to 30 days if you have that coverage.
Right.
But you can still go after the other people and sue them. But hold it, Gene, I want to do this. I want to help you out because I also see you got a problem with tires. But whenever we get a business owner on, I want to take him as quick as possible. BJ's with BJ's Auto Theft, and I want to say this for him to hear. First of all, Sherry said she brought it over there. $9,000 later, she goes and picks it up. And then here's where it comes down, BJ. She's saying when she picked it up, there was something wrong with the steering column. It looked like someone broke into the vehicle or tried to steal it. She brought it over to another place, and sure enough, that's basically what they thought. But the clock spring was broke. I guess the airbag light was on. She says none of that was that way before she brought it to you guys to get the hail work done. And on top of that, Sherry also said she just had a 60,000-mile checkup at Mike Shaw before she brought it to you guys.
Okay. I did get the car and I done the repairs on the hail. At the end of the job, the airbag light was on. The steering had a noise in it when it was dropped off, and it come down to the airbag clock spring failed. And we let her know that when she picked it up that she needed to have that looked at the dealership, which she did. And the dealership said that looked like somebody messed with the airbag or the clock spring.
Do you acknowledge that before she dropped it off, I mean, that airbag light wasn't on?
I don't know that for sure. My estimator, we take pictures. We have a procedure. We take pictures. I have a picture of the airbag light on, but I don't have a date of it when she dropped it off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the way she described it, I would think, hold on, let me bring her up real quick. Sherry, when you first got there, the main thing you saw was the airbag light on. I mean, the key went in, it turned, that stuff seemed okay?
I started the car up, the airbag was light, the light was on. I went to turn the car, and I knew immediately something was wrong. I got out of the car and went back into the shop.
Yeah. I mean, BJ, you can see where she's coming from. I mean, don't you think she would know that when she dropped it off?
Yeah, yes, I do. I just think that the clock spring failed when it was at our shop pulling it in and out.
So you think it was just wear and tear on a 2013 Subaru?
You know, guys, a lot of times moving parts fail.
Well, I'm not saying they don't. I mean, we had someone from Sheridan Auto Tech on who I've known, Kevin Culkin, forever. It's possible. He's not going to say it's impossible, but it's highly unlikely. How much is this whole repair anyhow?
She took it to the dealership, and they put a clock spring in it, which was underneath the airbag.
Yeah.
Then they also put a steering angle sensor in it, which is under the dash.
Yeah.
On the bottom of the steering column.
How much was the total?
The total was $1,454.90.
How much do you think you could have got it done for?
Well, we would have purchased.
Hold on, Sherry. Sherry, hold on.
Okay.
We would have bought the airbag sensor or the clock spring for, our cost, of course.
That's what I mean. What do you think your cost would have been? You have the labor there, I assume, and then, of course, whatever the parts are.
I would think that clock spring, our cost, would have cost us around $400.
What are you willing to do before I talk to her again? I mean, just, are you willing to do anything, or am I,
I'm willing to help her out. I didn't appreciate that she came in and withheld. She took it to the dealership, come back, we let her take her car without paying.
Yeah.
She had the insurance check. We let her take her car, owing us $9,000.
How much does she owe you now?
Well, she took off $1,454.90. Let me try this. $1,454.90. And then she got in a rental car. She owes us $1,604.94.
1,600. What would you, let's just say at a starting point, what would you be willing to do right now? How much would you knock off just to get paid the rest?
I don't feel we messed with her clock spring at all, but if we could settle this, I'd knock off, if she paid, I'd knock off $600 just to settle it and make it go away. Parts fail.
I'll tell you what. I'll be on your side, and what I mean by that is, but I'd like to see a meter in the middle. Would you do that? Then you get paid. She's done. Everything's over.
You want to split it?
Sherry?
Split it for the...
You owe him $1,650. You're gonna pay him half. You're gonna pay him half of what you owe him.
What I really, I'm not looking to get rich off of this.
Sure, you're definitely not getting rich. I'm asking you. I'm trying to be straight with you. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
How are you going to prove that they broke it? It's next to impossible. It's highly unlikely, but it is possible, them moving it in and out, just wear and tear. I'm not saying that's what I believe, but you have no proof either way. And he does have a picture of when the airbag light was on. Now, granted, it doesn't have a date, and I'm sure it was from a digital camera, so I'm not exactly sure why it doesn't have a date. But he's willing to go halves with you. I think it's a fair deal.
My concern is that the Subaru dealership said that somebody went in there and tampered with it.
Okay, what happens if it was in the Sherry, what happens if it was in the parking lot and some bum tried to steal your car? Is that going to be their fault? How about if you parked it at Walmart? Is that going to be Walmart's fault?
But I want them to say, hey, yeah, we know that we did cause damage, and we tried to cover it up.
Well, does it look like someone shoved a screwdriver into it?
I can't tell underneath
Mark?
Yes.
underneath
Bob, the car guy's listening. He thinks that's a very generous offer.
I know it is. Sherry, here's what's going to happen, and I don't want it to go here. I mean, they can put a lien on that vehicle. Quite frankly, if it was my shop and I wasn't paid on it, back in the day, I'd just send JJ out. JJ would do what, Suzanne?
Tow it.
He'd go grab your car. I mean, that's it's a fair deal. You're not going to be able to prove it. It's half of it.
I'll go with half.
All right. So when are you guys going to handle this?
She could just call us with a credit card and take care of it over the phone, and that'd be fine.
All right. Sherry, you good with that?
Yeah, so what is the total? You're saying that half of the $1,625 is what I say.
It's going to be $802.45.
Yep, exactly half. So $1,605. I'm glad that worked out for both of you, honestly. Sherry, I'm not kidding you. I love handling consumer problems, and if I really thought you had an open and shut case, I'd do it. It's just not that way right now.
Okay.
Sherry, on our behalf, we would have no reason to be in your steering column.
Well, that's BJ.
Underneath the dash with an angle sensor.
BJ, one of the things I said was somewhat to there, but even more importantly, you guys have the keys. If you guys wanted to drive the car or go in and out, why would there be any issue with you stealing it? Because you have the damn keys.
That's correct.
So, I mean, that's the biggest thing, Sherry. It doesn't add up what happened. I mean, none of it does, because honestly, a 2013 Subaru, this shouldn't happen to. But they have the keys, so why would they shove a screwdriver in there? Now, if you told me this, Sherry, if you showed up to pick it up and they had another key made, or it was evident it wasn't your key, that's a whole different story. But that's not what's going on here. I'm going to put both of you on hold. I want to follow up when she actually pays. Sherry, call them up and get it paid. Let's just get it knocked out altogether. Speaking of cars, you know where I'd go if I was looking for a used car? Rocky's Autos. Everybody knows that. They got 40 lenders to choose from. They've got the product, the price, the process down on all these cars. By the way, you get a Carfax with every car. You know what you're buying. They're family-friendly. They're kid-friendly. You can even bring your pooch down there. But make your holidays better and upgrade that car. They'll give you a great amount of money for that trade-in. They'll give you more than most, if not more than all the rest. They'll give you a lot of money for the trade-in. They'll get you into a nice new car. They got minivans, they got sports cars, they got SUVs, they got just beautiful late model cars. And once again, I can't stress this enough, Carfax with every car. It's family founded and it's family operated since 1982. You put them on the list, you drive down to 63rd and Federal. I'll give you the website, I'll give you the phone number, but I swear you just need to go to 63rd and Federal and check out the inventory. Bring the kids, bring everybody down there. They got some pinball machines, other stuff keeps kids busy. They'll drive you around in the golf carts. You can test drive them. You can have the vehicles checked out from a mechanic. You can do whatever. They're a real good, honest used car company, one of the best. RockiesAutos.com, 63rd and Federal. RockiesAutos.com, 303-426-4646.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
An improvement in the weather means an improvement in the drive, believe it or not. 6th Avenue westbound coming off I-25 out through Perry.
he says that's what they did. That was how they started out, was doing steering column damages from people trying to steal. That was the original business.
Well, as long as she pays them, it's good.
Yeah.
Last one to touch the car gets stuck.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I didn't really want to, you're cutting a pretty decent fair deal, I could tell.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, depending on what their security is, you know, they create a bailment relationship when you're an auto dealer. I mean, you're in that business, so you know.
It was.
If you're parking it off on a unlit street, you know, to store it, where, you know, someone's going to come break it in, it doesn't matter that you didn't take good care of it. You're under duty of reasonable care to store that car while it's in your care. But
well, people think the problem, it depends on the situation. No, it depends on the situation. For example, if you bring it to me and I'm doing hail work like this, and I go in and I do all the hail work and I park it outside and a fucking hailstorm comes through,
right.
That's still going to be act of God. You're going to have a second claim on that vehicle. It's not my fault it hailed again. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah.
But if I leave the keys in it, and I park it in front of 8 homeless people across from the shelter, and roll the window down and put a 20 in there.
And it hails.
And it hails. We had one stolen right out of the bay.
This is good one.
Out of the bay, yeah.
Right, so my last shop on Peoria, there was one door in, one door out, with like 8 bays inside. And there was plenty of room inside. So you drive in. So one car, he drives in, he was going to put it like in the bay in the middle. He gets in, the other guy didn't move that car yet. So he puts this one in park, this is inside the shop, goes over to the other one, starts it up to pull it out. Before he even gets to back it up, a homeless dude runs in, a woman, runs in, hops in it, puts the other one in reverse, whoosh, and takes off in the fucking car. It was all on camera, too.
Right.
And
they get her?
We turned it to Garage Keepers. They said, no, there was nothing you guys did wrong in this scenario. Nothing. My Garage Keepers said, we're not touching it. The good news was she had full coverage. I think I ended up paying the deductible as a nice part.
Yeah. Did they catch the lady that took the car?
Yeah, she barely got anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, but then she damaged the car pretty good.
Wow.
In fact, I got to ask Greg. He might have, she might have slammed it right into the building. It was damaged pretty good. But it was remarkable. We had another one, you know, Lakewood Electric. So way back in the day at our Crestline store, we worked on a bunch of FBI cars. In fact, Oklahoma City bombing, man, they were all in there before they even knew it was a bomb. Well, I mean, they thought it was a gas leak or something. But as the news was reporting all that in the morning, you know, they didn't know what happened. All of a sudden, I got 4 FBI guys from Denver down there to get their oil changes. They're hauling ass to Oklahoma City. They think something's up. So, I mean, I knew, like, before anybody, man, that it was possibility of being something really bad. So it had nothing to do with that, but we worked on a lot of their cars. So a different time, one drops one off, and they have a ton of equipment in the trunk. They look like a normal car. All their shit's in the trunk, including guns and shit. They usually take those with them. But it had an electrical problem. We sent it over to Lakewood Electric. It wasn't Bryant, who you know from Lakewood Electric. It was his brother who owned a shop. It wasn't the same shop. It was Lakewood Electric, different location. So William is his name. They have it. They don't know it's an FBI car. We'd never tell anybody what it was. They leave it outside.
Oh, no.
Fucking guy steals the car.
Oh, really?
They pick him up in Kansas the next morning. They found that car within 16 hours of it being stolen because it had a tracker in the trunk.
That was my next question.
And the guy that stole it had no idea, you know, until that day they stole it.
The trunk and said, there's machine guns in here.
All right, folks, 303-713-8255.
Eric's got a comment on that clock spring. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I gotta disagree with you and with Kevin Hawkins. The clock springs fail on vehicles all the time. It's, as BJ said, it's a wear and tear item.
But it wasn't just the clock spring. It was
I understand that.
Okay.
I know. But if you remember back 99 through 2001, every Dodge Dakota and Dodge Ram that rolled off the assembly line, that's right.
Well, what do you, okay, you're the troubleshooter, Eric. What do you think would have been fair? I think splitting that baby was pretty good.
I do, and I agree. I think that was fair. I don't think he was responsible for it. I think but you know, in the interest of being a good business owner,
yep.
he did.
Yep.
He
stepped right up, and I want to say this about BJ's, too. We had Bob the car guy call in, which I mentioned. He said those guys are stand-up, solid guys.
Yes.
Yeah, they're in Commerce City. I drive by them, and they seem to be extremely busy.
Well,
they've been around since the 80s, Mark.
Really, if you want to think about this one, it's a little odd, okay? Because what did I get done? Is she happy? No. Is he happy? No. That's how I know I did my job. They both think the other guy got better, but the reality of it is he's going to get some money now. He was owed $1,650, and she doesn't have to worry about her car getting stolen. Gina, you totaled your car, right? Gina? Your car got totaled, right?
Yes.
Okay, so your car got totaled. You had brand new tires on it, and then how long did you have this rental car?
I had the rental car. I got it on the 2nd of November, and
when'd you turn it in?
The 18th of December.
Okay, and then your insurance company. Why did you end up going through your insurance company?
Because well, the other guy had insurance with Hartford Fire Insurance, which is kind of the same company, I guess, was what I was told.
Yeah, but why? Why did they not take liability?
I couldn't get a hold of it. I got the runaround. I always got transferred.
Okay, well, then that's good. Then it's good that you called your insurance company. I mean, that's why you have that. So they'll subrogate if they think they can. And if they think they can collect, I'm sure they will. It's their own company. I mean, what do you think, Brian?
Well, she's saying that both the person that hit her and her insurance are the same.
Yeah.
They're both Hartford. So,
yeah, they're both Hartford. So anyhow, you're upset because your own insurance company is not paying the total amount of the rental car.
Well, this is what I'm upset about.
Go ahead.
I had the accident on October 3rd.
Yes.
They towed it to Spartan Towing in Berthoud, and it sat in the tow yard for over 2 weeks. There was no communication between Hartford, Perfection Auto, where it was supposed to go, to get, see if it was...
when did you put the claim in?
That day, the 30th.
Okay, so you called your insurance company that day.
I tried for 2 days, actually, to get a hold of the other insurance company.
That's what I'm saying. When did you actually turn it into your insurance, though?
I think it probably was what day? Probably the 2nd of November.
You know, I'm going to make this short and sweet because here's what you need to do. You need to sue the other driver. I mean, that's what you got to do. Whatever your insurance company ends up paying you, but you still have a loss on, you need to go after the person that caused this accident, caused your damages.
Right. That's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. And because you went through your own insurance company, I mean, Brian, she's not going to have to sign anything saying she won't sue him.
She shouldn't. Yeah, no, you shouldn't have to sign any kind of release form because you're dealing with your own insurance company at this point.
Yeah, and if they try to make you sign a release because, you know, it's the same company as the other one, that's going to be a big problem. That would be a conflict of interest, and I don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay.
So, but that's what you do, and if it's going to be less than $7,500, sue them in small claims court.
Oh, definitely.
Real quick, though, sometimes what happens with renter's insurance, or I'm sorry, rental insurance.
Rental car, yeah.
People think, you know, you walk into Enterprise, you're going to rent a car, and the car's $30 a day. Your company's going to pay up to so much a day. They don't buy other insurance for you generally, though, do you?
Insurance on the rental car?
On the rental car.
No.
That's what happens is they sell them the insurance on the counter. So you got $35 per day, and then, oh, okay, you want to be protected? That's another $15 per day. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Next thing you know, you're picking up half the bill because your insurance company doesn't cover the insurance.
Well, does that even when the insurance company didn't... I mean, I could have had this all done probably within this time period of having that rental car, and they pay for it, but there was no communication with anybody, and so it...
Well,
if the insurance companies were the ones that were dragging their feet and extending this loss longer, I would fight that one.
But
say, hold on a second.
But it sounds like it's because she couldn't get the other driver to actually make the claim or file the claim, right?
But she made the claim with her insurance.
Did you have all his information, Gina?
I do.
Okay. I'd just sue them. I mean, at this point, talk to your insurance company.
Yeah, I would kind of fight. I would have a discussion with your claim adjuster, and especially since you turned this in 2 days after the loss, and just say, listen, the reason why I ran out of time on my rental car is because you guys didn't get on the ball on this. You held it and no one communicated for 2 weeks.
But is it just a time issue, or did you order the extra insurance and stuff they're not paying for?
Well, I had to because the fact that it ran out on the December 1st, and I didn't even have a check for the loss of my car, my estimate.
So she's saying, do you understand what she's saying? She actually, if I'm reading you right, you bought insurance for the rental car, right? It's yes or no.
I went through my own insurance.
No, so she's saying that her time limit
just
went
purely
out. You
the
had more
time
than 30 days of loss, and so they stopped paying. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, on December 1st was my last
right,
day,
and
30 days.
your point is, hey, I had to go longer because you guys didn't communicate and let it sit there for 2 weeks. That's a valid argument to have with your claim adjuster.
You're right.
Okay.
How does Hartford work? Are they represented, or are they
They're independent. They're independent.
No.
Now you can go direct to them. I don't know what.
Okay, so do you sell the Hartford?
Yeah, we have Hartford.
Okay.
Yep.
That's who I went through. I went through you guys to get Hartford.
Compass?
Compass.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, then we can help you with this.
Why didn't you call them?
Well, they just gave me the runaround, and they told me that...
Compass?
No, not Compass.
Okay,
Hartford.
listen.
No, we can help you, and that's what I want anybody, especially those customers of ours.
Gina,
if you are having an issue with the claim, call us. We can help you.
Gina, that's one of the reasons you go with a broker. This guy, because he is your broker, not only did he say... Let me ask you this. When you decided to go with Compass, how much money did you save?
I think it was about the same as, because I was with like a State Farm, and I got divorced, and I just wanted to get away from what my husband
So you
had.
don't, in other words, you have no idea because you went from one situation to another. But no, that's why you go with someone like Compass, not just to save the money, but when you have a problem, that's what they're there for.
Yeah, and I even have someone in-house that will help out when
He'll
the claim is
literally
going wrong. So we will help out with this.
He'll literally fight his ass off for you.
Oh, perfect.
I mean, he might look funny afterwards, but...
Call our office, Gina. We'll help you out.
All right, Gina.
And remember the tires, too. You have those new tires.
They're going to handle that, too. If you had brand new tires on there, how old were the tires?
I bought them on the Wednesday, the 25th of October, and the accident was on the 30th.
Oh,
so you're going to get some credit for that as well. We'll help you with all this.
Yeah, get the receipt for the tires and call up Compass right now. Thanks, Gina.
Perfect.
God, I mean, I got you on. Why isn't she saying, hey, well, I guess eventually she did say I use Compass. Oh, my God. By the way, right now, if you want to save money and use someone great that'll help you out, Compass Insurance, 303-771-HELP. That's our helpline right now. Just call them up. They'll ask you a few questions, see if they can save you money, and I mean a lot of money in some cases, see if you have the right insurance. We call it the free insurance checkup. We do it monthly, and you're not going to go wrong. There's no reason not to do it whatsoever.
I'm noticing us guys are having a
303-771-HELP. Say that again, Clint.
Us guys are having a terrible time communicating with women today.
What do you mean? I'm not. What are you talking about?
We're not asking the right questions, I guess.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Now, people, it's not just women by any means. People, I guess they get on the radio. They're not used to being on here. They leave stuff out. I mean, it's just odd. I don't know why. But I do know this. She was talking about being in an accident. We were in an accident, Suzanne and myself, almost 2 years ago. It was 4th of July or 3rd of July, but this lady T-boned us. You know who I called the second she hit us? Well, that's not true. I mean, after the ambulance and all that, when everything finally calmed down and no one was dying and no one was in the emergency room anymore, I called John Fuller at Fuller Law. And the remarkable part is John fought his butt off for us, and we got their policy maximum. Now, I wish they had a bigger policy, but they didn't, but I think it was an extremely fair settlement, and literally... At first, they didn't want to offer us that much. They said, we'll give you this amount. John said, no, we're not going to do it. If we've got to go to court, we'll go to court and fight. He's not like these guys on TV that have got like 80 people right out of law school working for him, and basically you're just one of many inside this mill. He works with you. His people work directly with you. He's the attorney. And if he doesn't think it's a fair settlement, he will go to court, and you'll fight him, and you'll get whatever. It's just the way it is. He doesn't do it by the numbers. He does it by the client. The first thing he asked us was, we need you guys to go get better. We need you to go get better. Make sure your nose is feeling better. Make sure, you know, your broken nose healed in Suzanne's thing. Just make sure you're getting good. Then we'll deal with all the legal stuff. It was great. He held his hand through it, and he's the best out there. If you've been injured in an accident, you call John Fuller. Write it down because you never know when it's going to happen. 303-597-4500, John Fuller, 303-597-4500. Please put it in your glove box, put it in your wallet, put it in your purse. If you're hurt in an accident, motorcycle, car, truck, anything, 303-597-4500.
From the Fox Business Network, and the race is on.
Last Christmas, opened the door for
So
a
Brian,
guy
just let you know, I had
on
talked
an
to her
airplane.
before, she never really mentioned
Have
that.
fuel.
But
He comes
she
back,
said
the
she was
airplane was
happy
gone.
with what she got for the vehicle.
Of course, the FBI handled
The value
it.
of the vehicle.
Even
someone
sold the
tires,
airplane. Somebody
not
sold the airplane,
tires,
just brought it back the
tires
next
or
day.
but
It
she
was
was happy
sitting
as far as what she
back in front of the guy's hand.
Okay, so we just need to
The
take
FBI
credit
told us it
for
went to
tires
Yale County,
and,
Arkansas.
up and around
Someone saw the bugs.
The extended rental car will just
The
see where
FBI
that
took the
goes.
bugs off the front of that airplane and could tell you where it went. And they said it went to Yale County, Arkansas. That's how sharp they are.
All right, so if Dan's renting from me, and he's fully through his transition,
Okay. It's done. It's on my license.
he's now Danielle,
He went back to his original.
and I want to up his rent.
You want to up the rent?
Up the rent.
Oh, yeah.
I give him the 21 days notice.
Did I miss that while I was gone?
Now, within the 21-day period, he decides to transition back. Do I have to rewrite the lease that has the increase on the rent back to Dan when it was Danielle?
Now, are your security cameras fully toned in on the bathroom and the bedroom scenario?
Well, no.
I had to run out. Now, you were talking about there's a change in the law.
Right, 21 days?
Yeah. Have you gone
We
over
did
that
talk
yet?
about that,
Oh, I
yeah.
got to catch you again. I've got 115 tenants.
Oh, do you? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Any
Is it quick? You can tell me now.
yeah, I mean, I could,
Yeah, but this is for rentals. You do a different type of rental.
well, it depends on if you've got a set term or not. Is there 1 month or longer or less than 6 months? There's no written agreement?
The hangers are month to month.
Month to month?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is going to be...
Actually, I think a management company should give at least a month, I would
Then you
assume.
can only increase rent upon 21 days notice to the tenant. So...
Oh, okay. We only increase rents when we re-rent it.
When you rent anyway,
Yeah.
then you should be good at transition time.
Okay, so.
But this would be the sixth, month to month, you continually periodic
Yeah.
tenancy. So.
Our other stuff is Airbnbs.
Okay.
Rental cabins, so
Right,
they're
right.
just, day rentals, so.
Right.
That wouldn't be in that either. I can't believe, well, I'm trying to get two of my daughters to become property managers. Because I've done it for years on commercial stuff. Because there's such a need for good property managers out there.
Yeah.
A huge need for them. But I can't get the one daughter, you gotta have a broker's license.
Yeah.
It's not just a realtor's license.
Really?
You have a full broker's license, yeah, to do it. I can't get her through that school because she's too busy working.
How hard is a broker's license?
It's a lot harder,
Is
and
it?
a lot more expensive than just a realtor's sales
Really?
license. Yeah. You can test straight to it now. You used to have to get a realtor's license and go 2 years under a broker and all that, but you can test straight into it.
Is she an owner in the company at all?
What's that?
Is she an owner in your company?
No, my wife and I, under Diamondback Management, manage aircraft stuff.
Okay.
But for some weird quirk, if they're condominium commercial, we don't have to have the broker's license.
Right.
You have to have it for residential.
Right. And if it's your own property,
Yeah.
if you're in-house.
Yeah. Well, a lot of
You don't need that.
Yeah.
Oh, if your own property, you don't need it.
If you're in-house, yeah.
So if she was a partner or whatever and stuff, you wouldn't have to do it.
You can make
Well-
her an employee.
And then she could do other outside stuff.
Well,
I don't see why not. If it could be part-time.
Why would you want to do outside of those just for?
Well, I don't want her, my wife and I can manage what we're having.
Oh, yeah.
But people out there that are landlords, most of them suck at being landlords. They're really bad. They really do need a management company.
Yeah.
It'll save them money and do it right, and save the headaches, and they don't charge that much.
Right.
And a good management company can handle a lot of property if they do it right.
Right.
You got to address the tenant's problem now.
Right.
You don't
I
wait.
like Renters Warehouse. They're a client of mine. They're on 850 Gateway. Have you ever talked to them, Mark? Renters Warehouse?
Say it again?
Renters Warehouse?
What about them?
They're big.
Talk to them. They advertise an 850 Gateway. They're a client of mine. You asked for a property management company?
Yeah, big property management company.
They advertise on 850, so
I think I've heard them.
Aren't they the biggest?
As far as they do single-family residential, and
Yeah.
the biggest base would be Greystar. They're the
the
big
big commercial.
multifamily.
Yeah.
Right? But I think they are the biggest or one of the biggest.
They do a real bad.
All right, 303-713-8255.
Let's get right back to it. Jeremy has a comment on insurance policies and deductibles. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, Mark, this is Jerry.
What's up, man?
Doing good. Hey, something I found out on insurance is that I got hit by hail one year and had to pay the deductible on the house, on the car, on the fifth wheel.
Sure.
Okay. Something I asked my agent about after that was if they had a rider for a one event, one deductible. Following year, I got hit by hail again and saved myself a ton of money.
Oh, because you're saying what does that mean, Brian? Give us.
Yeah, there's
give us
some
that.
companies, it's not even a rider on the companies that I know of. It's that some carriers, if you have all your policies with one company, some of the companies will
do one event.
Will do one
so you
event.
pay.
So
The bottom line is you save your deductibles.
The highest deductible among the group of deductibles.
But boy, if you're like Jerry's saying though, if you're in certain hail areas, or well, that's a problem. We don't know where it's going to hail, but it would be a great coverage.
Yep.
Thanks for that, Jerry. We appreciate that. Wayne, what's going on? But hold on, Wayne. 303-713-8255. 303 Martino. By the way, don't forget the help center right now. 303-771-HELP. If you want to save money on insurance, just call up there now. And then Brandon Siglian, any tenant landlord questions you have. 303-713-8255. Wayne, what's going on with you?
Hey, nice job negotiating 50% on that.
Well, thank you.
The wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah.
I know Suzanne's rolling her eyes at that one.
Yeah, she was.
Hey, I got a quick comment about Compass though.
Yep.
About 3 years ago, I went to them, and not only did they save me several $100s, but I think his name was Nick, explained the advantages of MedPay. And about 5 months later, I got hit head on by a 95-year-old guy, and the MedPay instantly cashed me out for $5,000.
Yeah, and you can go all the way up, Brian, to what, 20, 30?
Some carriers go up to 50, but most it caps at 25.
I got screwed on that. I didn't have MedPay, and I didn't have cheap insurance. I mean, we had an umbrella. We had everything, man. My limit was, what, $500,000 per... What is it, per accident or what? Then the umbrella kicks in?
Right, exactly.
And I didn't have MedPay, which would have cost me nothing. So I get you, Wayne.
Yeah, it was really an advantage. So I appreciate Compass for that.
Cool.
But anyway, I've got a concern. I want your opinion, Mark, if I'm out of line or not.
Yes, go.
I got a back injury. I got a really bad disc, so massages usually help me. So I joined a massage club from Elements Massage. I paid $69 a month for that.
$69 a month. What does that include?
Well, that includes a monthly massage. You get a discount on it. Is about really all it includes. You get a discount on your massage.
Does this story have a happy ending?
No.
Okay, keep going.
But anyway, so I had a medical emergency. I fell and hurt my back, had to go to a doctor. So I had to cancel my massage appointment with Elements.
Got it.
They told me, well, we can't do that. We got a 24-hour cancellation policy, and we're going to charge you anyway, whether you get it or not.
Yeah, you understand. So and I agree with that if they can't fill that spot. But keep going.
Well, and I understand. That's why I need your opinion. But the other thing, the main concern was, I said, well, okay, I don't, it's a medical emergency. I don't appreciate that. Cancel my massage club. And a couple of days later, they called me and said, well, we got a 30-day cancellation policy for your club membership, so you're going to get charged another $69.
Oh, it sounds like they're stroking you.
Yeah, and I was just like, what? Come on. It just seems like bad customer service to me. I don't know. Maybe, I didn't read the fine print. Of course, they didn't tell you when you sign up either. But
you want us to make a call over there, see what we can work out? We can give them a hard time.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think, they're right on the first one, but I think, to be so inflexible on the 30-day thing with a medical emergency, they could have a better business practice than that. That's my opinion.
How do you want us to help, though? Seriously, Wayne, you want us to... I don't mind having one of these guys call over. We're pretty good at this stuff.
Does he have a doctor's note?
There's just a masseuse, and the first masseuse I went to was really good. I got to admit that. I think the massage.
But Wayne, let's stay on topic. Do you want us to call over there? And if so, what do you want me to try to achieve? Get you out of the contract? You want to stay in the contract, but we try to get you that 1 hour so you didn't have to pay for it? You get to make it up?
Well, I'm out of the contract because I canceled it. What I don't like is they now say that they got a 30-day notice before.
Okay, so you want us to try to get rid of the 30-day notice?
Yeah, and charge me another $69.
All right, hang loose. All right, let's call over there and see if we can't get him out of that contract. 303-713-8255. 303-713-8255. I want to talk to you real quick about something extremely serious. Tom and I got together when we went down to this place called the Raleigh House. It's for people that are addicted, addiction problems. And we talked to them, and what we wanted to do was come up with a number where listeners who have addicts in their life, and it doesn't matter if it's drugs, alcohol, pretty much anything, people that have addicts in their life, how to communicate with them, how to talk to them, how to try to help them. A lot of times, you know there's a problem. It's evident there's a problem. Maybe they don't go to work. Maybe they're functioning. But you don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to tell them, hey, you need to get help. And they don't understand that they need help. That's what this number was set up for. What I love about it is they got individual treatment plans because everybody's different. They have medically based treatment plans. I call it real treatment. But there's a lot of triggers this time of year. Financial, legal, family, marriage problems. If you have anybody in your life that has issues with addiction, I want you to call this number and talk to the Raleigh House. Do it now. Do it before it's too late. And if you are an addict and you have problems with alcohol or drugs, you know, sleeping pills, anything. Maybe you just don't know if you have a problem. That might sound silly, but if you're sitting there wondering all the time, gee, I wonder if I am an alcoholic. I wonder if I am a drug addict. I wonder if I am addicted to these pills. Call these guys, too. They'll really help you out. Get your life straightened up. The Raleigh House, the number is 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559. They're great people. They have tons of different places here in Denver. They're nice little homes that they put you into. It's a great plan. Learn more about it. 720-893-5559.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning.
Bills paid.
So on that one, by staying another month, he's going to get another massage by paying that thing, and he sounds like, why don't you just go get your other massage?
He just wants to see if he can get out of the contract for him.
Yeah, but he's just 30 days, but if he pays that 30 days, he'll get another massage.
Better yet, you go over there, you give him the massage, and we'll call it even. You gave that one lady the sponge bath.
How long as you do the sponge bath? Quit jumping on
I agree with you. I don't see how he's winning on this. He's cutting off his nose to spite his face, paying
Right.
and not going again.
Right. So I don't see it.
And I can't believe all that went over his head. Dan talks how you knocked him out of the chair one day. You just about got me out of the chair then.
Oh. Dan was so funny. I know what he's talking about. I said, I cracked the funniest joke he's ever heard. He's the only person that's never heard that before.
Oh, I heard
I said, Tom, I know what's going on with this poor guy. There's a loose nut behind the wheel. Dan fell out of his chair.
It's just one of those things that's so stupid. Yeah. You gotta laugh, right?
You just about got me then, because you kept it up and this guy wasn't getting it.
God, it was. Have you ever heard anything go over someone's head so many times?
Didn't miss me. That went over my head. It went below the belt.
I just thought of another one I'm going to do coming back.
Every one of these ladies I've talked to today left out some of the most important stuff when I go back to get them on. It's like that's
not just ladies.
It's
that's
everybody.
Oh, okay. It's just.
It's really bad.
We had one we did so much work on to find out it happened like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they talked, it just happened like, I just left a dealership, you'll never believe what happened. 7 years ago.
Yeah.
This guy had trouble to starting. I get in there, and he's got a list of things this long that they've done to that car, including losing the key. I said, how are they starting the car? He said, oh, I don't know.
The key that was on your visor, they're using that one.
No, he said he only has one key. He has to go to the dealer to have a new key made, and it's $300. just told them get it the hell out of there. They're just any place that does 9 different things to your car still doesn't get it.
Are you talking about the one with the battery and everything?
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
There's
Get
no
it out
way.
of there, you know.
I can't see it was the alternator.
No,
I mean, that's the easiest.
Or
thing
the fuel
to
pump, or the
Well, the fuel pump was something. They did have something screwed it up with electronically.
But it wasn't cranking. How the hell do you know if the fuel pump's working if it's not running?
No, something that was part of the parasitic draw on it and stuff. That's what they said. It kept on running. I learned that parasitic draw.
Yeah, just when I come back in, come in and tell me that. Say I got an update on the massage. Simple as that.
Wrong answer. What do you think?
It's great. I'm going to have to say it with a straight face, though.
A straight face. Use that one too.
Tell them they'll give you a screaming deal.
Screaming.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Mark is so juvenile.
Geez, there's been a couple times I almost go back in on that.
Tom will say sometimes, you guys are just like a couple of kids.
So fun.
All right, 303-713-8255.
Yes, Suzanne.
So I had to leave a message for the manager to call me back
For
from
where?
Elements
For where?
Massage.
Oh, Elements.
Massage.
Well, what's the long and hard of it?
I'm waiting for a call back, Mark.
And then Deputy Dan said we should do a screaming deal with the massage place. Okay. Did I miss my calling? Honestly, did I miss my calling?
Probably.
My God. All right, 303-713-8255. Let's truly try to get him out of that contract. Meantime, Scott's got an issue with a water heater. What's going on, Scott?
Hey, how's it going, Mark?
Good, man.
Hey, right on. Hey, so about 5 years ago, and of course this is 5 years ago, but...
You know, thank God, we were just talking on break, Scott. Honest to God, we were just talking about this. We had a caller, I'm not going to say who it was, but we dug into her problem with a shop like you wouldn't believe. I had probably a couple hours in it. Dan probably had a couple days in it. And finally, when the shop figures out who we're talking about, it happened 7 years ago. She was talking like it was the week before, but Tom nor I ever asked, when did this happen? So I appreciate you saying this is 5 years old, but go ahead.
Okay, so let's see, where do I start? So about two weeks ago, I had a problem with my water heater now.
But you had it installed 5 years ago, is that correct?
Yes,
okay.
5 years ago installed.
So what kind of warranty did they give you?
They gave me a
6-year parts and labor?
Yep, 10-4.
And what kind of, who was it? Who installed it?
Delta Mechanical.
Delta, I don't think I've heard of them, which could be
They're
not.
through Home Depot.
Oh, okay, that is where I've heard of them. So, okay, so they installed it, and what's going on with it?
So about 2 years ago, I had them come back out because the piping, the exhaust pipe off the blower motor popped off.
Okay.
So I made a call to Delta, said, hey, look, you know, it's been about 2 years. This just popped off.
So did they handle it?
They came out, and the guy kind of laughed about it, and they said, this is all you have to do. And what he described to me, he showed me how to put it back on. He says if it comes back off...
Did they install it in the first place?
Yes.
Why wouldn't he do it?
Exactly.
Okay, well, okay, so where are we at now?
Okay, so fast forward 2 years later.
Please.
It came off, and not only did it come off like how it would rest on the blower motor, it came completely off.
Are they going to cover it?
Well, okay, so my wife did try to get Delta out there.
Yes.
And the work order got canceled twice on a Friday.
Okay.
And they said, we're going to get someone out there tomorrow on a Saturday.
Yes.
No one ended up
So, Scott, they have not come out, it's still broke?
No. I ended up that same day because we couldn't get anything resolved with Delta.
Yes.
I had brothers come out because I have good rapport with brothers.
Okay, so did they fix it?
They did fix it.
So now what? How can I help you?
So what happened is, luckily the part was under warranty, So that got taken care of.
Yes.
I kind of want Delta to kind of, because Brothers told
You
me
want them to
that-
pay the labor. Is that where we're going?
But I bet he would have paid the labor anyway, being 5 years later.
No, it was a 6-year warranty. I mean, you've got somewhat of, you got something there, but generally you let these people do it. If they put you off how many times?
Yes.
How many times?
3 in 1 day.
What would, well, in 1 day though, how much was the labor?
$759 total, and that was actually because they had to replace the blower motor because that pipe kept popping off.
Did they do the blower motor at the first time?
Yeah, it was a whole new unit.
Oh, man. We can reach out. I'll do this. Clint, this is one for you. Hold on.
I got a question real quick for him.
Well,
Scott, is that a plastic chimney or metal chimney?
I don't know, because I'm not going back to him right now.
Oh.
But figure that out with them, and then let's call over. And Suzanne said Delta Mechanicals through Home Depot, right?
Well, that was per the caller.
Okay, well then if we have to go to Home Depot, let's do it. I don't know what they actually owe him. He should have had them fix it. If they canceled 3 times in 3 different days, I mean, I was like, that sucks. But if they canceled 3 times in 1 day, then he calls someone else. I don't know how I feel about it. Let's let Clint dive into it. Brandon Siglian Law. So you do tenant landlord. Anybody needs you for tenant landlord. You guys actually just hired a new guy that does criminal, right?
We collections and but we do criminal.
Ooh, how much collections you do? We got people calling on collections all the time.
He came from a collections firm. His name is Daniel Zolnikoff. He's at the office today. Have people give him a call.
Okay, so collections is great. So tenant landlord, either side of it. You represent a lot of landlords in town.
Real estate.
Real estate. Oh, that's right. You guys do tons of real estate deals. In fact, I'll probably use you for our next one. But Brandon Siglian Law has been on the referral list forever. He joins me all the time. 720-344-4828. If you're buying any commercial property, you know, honestly, even with my last house, I had my attorney Ryan Wood was present with me. He's no longer doing that, so I'll start using you. But, I mean, honestly, I always have an attorney present for real estate. Siglian Law Firm, 720-344-4828. Brian Burns with Compass Insurance. I really hope people take advantage of you guys. I hope they take advantage of you guys. That's not what I'm trying to say. I really hope, though, that they call you up and take advantage of the free check because, and I can't stress this enough, business owners out there, you might be working right now. Would you please double-check your garage keepers? That goes to all the shops we call, Al Aramis, all these guys. I think a lot of them use you, but you guys have to call up. On top of that, contractors are big. Any kind of retail you have, if you own a flooring company, if you're in other people's houses, if you don't know what kind of insurance you need. Let's say you work for someone right now doing HVAC and you want to branch out onto your own. They can at least give you an idea of how much it's going to be. Any commercial policies you need out there, I want you to give these guys a call. Suzanne, let's keep the hotline going for a while on that. 303-771-HELP. 303-771-HELP. We'll keep that going for another couple hours. And then if you're an individual and you haven't checked your prices in a while, what's the average you save? Just throw something out quick.
Probably somewhere around $700 a year.
$700 a year.
So probably 50, average.
Well, the weird part is when I ask you for them, and I know you've gotten a lot in the last
They're usually higher, but I try to give some of the more dramatic ones. Yeah.
All right, listen, we've got a lot going on tomorrow. We're going to come back here. We're going to kick ass, take names, do what we do best. We're going to get involved. We're going to help you out. My name's Mark Major. Everybody have a good night.
Were they getting a lot of action over there?
It sounds like it. Yeah, I've got a bunch of leads that have come up on our website.
I really want you guys to get some of the other ones going.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I got, just because I can't see it right now, but I'll tell you what we get for the commercial side of it.
So your collections, you do not just like personal too, not just
commercial, a lot of construction, mechanics liens.
So you do like personal, do they get judgment and stuff? What do you guys charge?
Well, Dan's hourly rate's $200.
Oh, I see. So you don't do a percentage.